I rely on the system to support my 18 brothers and sisters. Others who traveled through time would either be queens in the palace, or unfavored daughters of the prime minister's mansion, or at worst, farm wives. Qiao Linxi's situation was even worse. Not only did she travel through time to a place where there was no grass in 100 miles, but the dog system also gave her 18 brothers and sisters. In a place that had been dry for several years, how could a 14-year-old Qiao Linxi support 18 brothers and sisters? That was fine, but the dog system also asked her to thank God every day. Wasn't that simply unjust? Chapter 1, Transmigration. Qiao Linxi groaned in pain as she groggily sat up, holding her forehead and looking at the unfamiliar surroundings before her. At dusk, she widened her eyes in shock. No way, she had transmigrated. A rush of unfamiliar memories surged into Qiao Linxi's mind, making her feel as though her brain was about to explode. She found herself in an unknown kingdom, the Great Yu dynasty, located in the most remote northern area, Luoyu village. Years of ongoing drought had made Luoyu village more desolate, with the land completely barren. As for the original owner, Qiao Linxi, she had originally lived in Qiao family village. However, after 3 years of drought and failed crops, her family decided to migrate. It was called migration, but in reality, it was an escape from famine. There's an old saying, the rope always snaps from the thinnest part. On their journey to escape, Qiao Linxi's parents were attacked by bandits. To protect her and her younger siblings, her parents were killed by the bandits. And now, their bodies were still lying not far away. In the chaos, Qiao Linxi had fallen, hit her head, and lost her life. When she opened her eyes, she had transmigrated into this body, and she was now the Qiao Linxi from the 21st century. Congratulations, host, the system has been activated. A soft, cute voice echoed in Qiao Linxi's mind. Who's talking? Qiao Linxi pressed her forehead, looking around, but all she could hear were wails. The bandits had come again to rob the fleeing people of their food, and many had died. It's me. The cute and soft system. Qiao Linxi, ? What system? Could it be that her transmigration was caused by this stupid system? Host, don't be angry. The system is just trying to help you fulfill your wish. My wish? Don't you remember what wish you made on your 32nd birthday? You wished for time to rewind, to return to your carefree childhood. Qiao Linxi had indeed made such a wish, but this situation had nothing to do with a carefree childhood. Don't be angry, host. The system's abilities are limited, so I brought you here. But look! You've become younger. To make up for it, the system will give you a bonus gift on top of the starter pack. Qiao Linxi was speechless. So, she had transmigrated to a wild and primitive era with a system. Host, just click on the lottery to get your starter pack. In her past life, Qiao Linxi had read some novels and knew what a system was. It was basically a cheat code. She quickly accepted the reality. Since it was a starter pack, the items might be useful. Thinking this, Qiao Linxi clicked the lottery button, and a screen appeared before her, like the lottery system in a game. There was a backpack, and below it, many grids. Her starter pack had been issued, and Qiao Linxi reached out to click. Congratulations, host, you've won a frying pan. Qiao Linxi. What is she supposed to do with a frying pan? Fry dirt and eat it? Isn't the starter pack supposed to be directly given? Why do I have to draw a lottery? No. In the future, you'll need to use gratitude points to draw. Today's rewards are a system welfare gift. Qiao Linxi found this system to be quite frustrating. She noticed there was also a big gift pack beside the starter pack, so she clicked on it. Congratulations, host, you have received for younger siblings. Qiao Linxi. Big sister. A child about 10 years old, holding a younger girl in her arms, looked at Qiao Linxi with fear. Qiao Linxi forced a smile. She didn't want any younger siblings, thank you very much. Big sister, are you okay? Hearing the voice, Qiao Linxi turned to look at the girl. She had beautiful eyes, though her face was thin and pale. The girl in her arms seemed to have some flesh. She was Qiao Linxi's sister, Qiao Linxi. It seemed that everyone in Qiao family village was quite capable, as most families had 6 or 7 children. Qiao Linxi's father had once ventured far and wide, so he gave his children beautiful names. Qiao Linxi had 4 younger siblings, her second sister, Qiao Linxi her third and fourth brothers, the twins Qiao Linxi and Qiao Linxu, and the youngest sister, Qiao Linhua. Qin, Qi, Shu, who are such elegant names. Qiao Linxin was holding the youngest, Qiao Linhua, who was only 5 years old this year. I'm fine. Qiao Linxi paused for a long moment before standing up and walking toward the bodies in the distance. She saw her twin brothers, both 8 years old, sitting next to their dead parents, crying helplessly. Linxi, Linshu. Qiao Linxi picked up both of her brothers, one in each arm. Big sister. Seeing the swollen eyes of the boys, Qiao Linxi's nose tinged with sadness. She wanted to cry too. But returning to the past was impossible now. She had to face reality. But she was just a child. How could she support these younger siblings? All right, mom and dad are gone. Let us dig a hole and bury them. Qiao Linxi knew she couldn't cry. She had to be strong, or the siblings wouldn't survive. Okay. The twins, Qiao Linxi and Qiao Linshu, looked quite alike. The two boys ran to their side, grabbed an unclaimed hoe, and began digging a hole. After the bandits had attacked, many people who had escaped the famine were killed, and others were starting to bury their loved ones. These were real bandits who had killed many. The remaining people were mostly the elderly, weak, and sick. After burying their parents, Qiao Linxi led her siblings forward. In her memories, the original family had planned to move on, thinking there might be food ahead. Who would have thought that when they arrived at Luoyu village, the situation was the same as at Qiao family village, only yellow soil and no hope. They had lost their lives here. Qiao Linxi carried Qiao Linhua on her back with a torn piece of cloth and led her siblings forward. Along the way, there were many other people fleeing the famine. Some were strong, laborious, carrying household goods, just pots, bowls, and utensils. The scorching sun was overhead, and the earth beneath her feet was so hot it felt like walking on a desert. She had been walking for a long time but hadn't seen any water sources. There had once been a big river, but after years of drought, it had long since dried up, leaving only cracked riverbeds. Qiao Linxi felt like her throat was on fire. If she continued like this, she would die of thirst. Dying of thirst was the most painful way to die. But if she died, maybe she could return. If she could go back, she would live well, find a boyfriend, get married, and not let her parents worry. System, do you have any way to help us survive? Since the system had brought her here, it surely wouldn't let her die. Host can collect gratitude points to draw. The system shop has everything. The system then opened the shop for Qiao Linxi to see. It was full of all sorts of items. Gratitude points. Qiao Linxi muttered. After thinking for a moment, she stopped and put her hands together. Thank you, heaven, for letting me stay alive. Beep, gratitude point +1. Qiao Linxi tugged at her lips. So, gratitude points meant being grateful to others? If others thank you, you also earn gratitude points. The more others thank you, the more gratitude points you get. But you can only earn 1 point for thanking others yourself. You can earn points multiple times in a day, as long as you thank different people. Chapter 2, The Fairy Who Is Me. Looking at the solitary gratitude points, Qiao Linxi sighed and clicked the lottery button again. The result. Congratulations to their host for obtaining 1 piece of wood. Qiao Linxi almost wanted to curse. What was she supposed to do with a piece of wood? Was she going to make her own tombstone? 10 pieces of wood can be combined into a lunchbox. The lunchbox will produce 1 steamed bun every day. The lunchbox can be upgraded, and the higher the level, the more items it will produce. Qiao Linxi suspected that this system had become a refined version of a crafting game. But whether she could survive depended on this system. After thinking for a moment, she turned to Qiao Linhua, who was on her back, and said, Linhua, sister is carrying you, okay. The young Qiao Linhua was so hungry that she had no strength left. Hearing Qiao Linxi's words, she weakly replied, sister is good. Then, should you say thank you to sister? Qiao Linhua clung tightly to Qiao Linxi's neck and said softly, thank you, sister. Beep, gratitude points +2. Qiao Linxi quickly clicked the lottery again, and the system rewarded her with 2 more pieces of wood. Thinking of this, Qiao Linxi turned her attention to the 3 children beside her. Big sister. Qiao Linxin, holding Qiao Linxi and Qiao Linshu, looked at Qiao Linxi with fear. Could it be that their sister had gone mad? Qin, from now on, I'll take care of you. Shouldn't you say thank you to your sister? Qiao Linxi exchanged glances with her two brothers. Although Qiao Linxi's behavior was strange, she still said, "Thank you, sister." "What about Qi Qi and Shu Shu?" The two boys spoke in unison, "Thank you, sister." With 6 gratitude points gathered, Qiao Linxi quickly clicked the lottery again. The system generously gave her 6 more pieces of wood. But she still needed 1 more. Qiao Linxi thought for a moment, then pulled her 3 younger siblings aside, speaking earnestly, "Thank you, heavens, for giving me 4 healthy and adorable younger siblings." Beep, gratitude points +1. With 10 pieces of wood finally collected, Qiao Linxi quickly combined them, and indeed, it formed a lunch box. The lunch box had a progress bar. The system explained that food would only appear when the progress bar was full. Qiao Linxi really wanted to curse. But at least she knew there would be food, which gave her hope for survival. The siblings continued walking with the main group. It was almost dark, and they didn't know where they would spend the night. Qiao Linxi sighed again. Fortunately, the progress bar was full, which meant they would have food. But there were so many refugees around, and Qiao Linxi was worried that if she took out the steamed bun, it might bring trouble to her siblings. So, she didn't take it out. "Lin Hua, are you hungry?" "Yes." Qiao Linxi hugged Qiao Lin Hua's legs and said, "Then how about I give you a delicious steamed bun?" "Sister, do you have food?" Hearing the word, food, Qiao Linxi and the others immediately widened their eyes, staring at Qiao Linxi. Qiao Linxi felt she needed to tell her younger siblings the truth. She pulled them aside and, seeing that no one was watching, she whispered, "Qin Qin, Qi Qi, Shu Shu, actually, I'm no longer your sister." "Are? What do you mean, big sister?" Qiao Linxi didn't understand. "Sister, do you not want us anymore?" Qiao Linshu asked. Qiao Linxi seemed to understand Qiao Linxi's meaning, though she was still unsure. Her eyes reddened, and she looked at Qiao Linxi. "I see, sister, you don't need to take care of us anymore. If you go on alone, you might survive. If you take us with you, we could all die." "What are you talking about?" Qiao Linxi patted Qiao Linxi's head. "What I mean is, your older sister is already dead, and I'm not your older sister." Seeing the confusion in all 3 pairs of eyes, Qiao Linxi slapped her forehead and said directly, "I'm a fairy from the heavens. Your sister has died, and my soul borrowed her body to be reborn." "Are you a ghost?" Qiao Linshu asked, then hid behind Qiao Linxi. "I'm not a ghost, I'm a fairy. I can do magic. Are you afraid of me? Will you eat people?" Qiao Linxi asked. "I don't eat people." Qiao Linhua weakly asked, "Does sister know any magic?" "I've just come down to earth, and my body is injured, so my magic is weak. I need to practice to become more powerful," Qiao Linxi said, lying through her teeth. "Oh." Qiao Linhua obediently laid down on Qiao Linxi's back. Qiao Linxi seemed to understand a little, though still unsure. She asked directly, "Then, will you hurt us?" "No, I came down to save you." "Really?" The 3 children stared at Qiao Linxi, wide-eyed. Their sister was a fairy, it seemed so impressive. "Really, but you need to keep it a secret for me. If anyone finds out, they might capture and kill me, and then you will all die." Qiao Linxi immediately made a death threat. The children quickly raised their hands, swearing to never reveal her secret. Qiao Linxi was satisfied. Rather than sneaking around, it was better to openly use the system's things. "However, fairy sister, I'm so hungry. Can you use magic to make food?" Qiao Linxi rubbed his stomach, looking at Qiao Linxi expectantly. Around them, the people who were walking ahead of them paid no attention. Though Qiao Linxi was also hungry, she still didn't dare take out the steamed bun from the system. "My magic is very weak. It only works at night when the stars are bright. So, you'll have to endure." Saying this, Qiao Linxi continued walking with Qiao Linhua on her back. Though she didn't know what awaited them ahead, as long as they kept moving forward, there was hope. Qiao Linxi, hearing that food would appear when the stars came out, suddenly felt full of energy again and followed behind Qiao Linxi. Qiao Linxi, being older, was somewhat skeptical about what Qiao Linxi had said, but since her sister's behavior was so strange today, she didn't know whether to believe Qiao Linxi was a fairy or that she had gone mad. She'd rather believe her sister was a fairy than think she had gone mad, because without that hope, they didn't know if they could survive. Night finally fell. Qiao Linxi and the others found a large rock and sat down against it. Qiao Linxi kept looking up at the sky, waiting for the stars to appear. Perhaps infected by Qiao Linxi's hope, Qiao Linxi also looked up, followed by Qiao Linqin, and then Qiao Linhua. Sister, when will the stars come out? Qiao Linxi, soon. Sister, is there really a steamed bun? Qiao Linxi, millimeter. Sister, is the steamed bun real? Qiao Linxi, millimeter. In the distance, others were sitting and overheard the children talking. They shook their heads. The poor children without adults, their survival was uncertain. Suddenly, Qiao Linxi pointed at the dark sky and said, Sister, the stars are out. Chapter 3, Strength Beyond Measure. Thanks to the Lost Ones, the Lord of the Demonic Path, Book Friend 9458, and Qingming after 2 generations S for their recommendations. Thank you all for your support. Stars. Stars. Amid the shouts of the children, the pitch-black sky was suddenly filled with jade-like stars. Qiao Linxi marveled, so beautiful. She hadn't forgotten to show gratitude, and added, Thank you, heaven, for letting me see such a beautiful starry sky. It truly was beautiful. In Qiao Linxi's era, the night sky was filled with neon lights, and the sky was no longer pure. She had never seen such a beautiful starry sky before. After her admiration, Qiao Linxi saw that her gratitude value had increased again in the system. The surroundings suddenly grew quiet, and Qiao Linxi looked down to find 4 pairs of eyes staring at her. Sister, the stars are out. Do you have magical powers now? Can you make steamed buns? Sure. Qiao Linxi hushed her siblings. Did you forget what I told you? We need to keep this a secret. Speaking so loudly, do you want someone to catch me and make me give them steamed buns while you all starve to death? Oh. Qiao Linxi and Qiao Linxu quickly covered their mouths, and Qiao Linhua did the same with her little hand. Qiao Linxi stared directly at Qiao Linqin, who reluctantly covered her mouth as well. Whoever speaks up will not get any food. Qiao Linxi pulled the group into a circle and seriously muttered some words she didn't quite understand herself. Then, suddenly, a big steamed bun appeared in her hands. It's real, Qiao Linxu quickly covered his mouth when he saw the bun. Millimeter, 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 it's real. Qiao Linxi tore the steamed bun into 5 pieces, 1 for each person. The children swallowed their pieces in 1 bite and eagerly looked at Qiao Linxi. It's all gone. My magical powers are weak, so I can only make 1 a day. As soon as she finished speaking, she heard footsteps behind her. Turning around, she saw a man walking toward her. Who are you? Qiao Linxi quickly shielded her siblings. The man smiled when he saw Qiao Linxi's expression. Little girl, are you hungry? I have steamed buns. Would you like to come over and get one? Qiao Linxi didn't move. She looked at him warily, not believing that a man would be so kind. Don't be afraid, I'm not a bad guy. If you come over, I'll give you a steamed bun. Qiao Linxi remained unmoved by his words. Don't act so suspicious. I really have steamed buns. You just have to sleep with me for 1 night, and I'll give you 1. See? The man pulled a steamed bun out of his pocket. Really? If I sleep with you for 1 night, I'll get a steamed bun. Qiao Linhua didn't understand what he meant, but she thought if sleeping could get them food, it sounded like a good deal. Yeah. The man's smile turned lecherous. Get lost. Qiao Linxi yelled as she protected Qiao Linhua. Qiao Linqin's expression was also dark. She understood what the man meant. With food so scarce, many girls were willing to trade their bodies for a meal. She had seen it happen before. Back when their parents were alive, no one dared to have ill intentions toward their sister, but now that their parents were gone, with their sister's beauty, how many people would be eyeing her? Don't be like that. I'm just trying to help you. Look, how many people have starved to death on this journey. You don't want to die of hunger, do you? Come on, I'll be gentle. I won't hurt you. Get lost. Qiao Linxi pointed at him. Do you want me to beat you? The man merely chuckled at the threat from a 14-year-old. I didn't expect you to look so innocent, but your temper is fiery. I like that. It makes it more interesting. Qiao Linxi was truly furious. She pulled out a frying pan from her system and pointed it at the man. I'll say it 1 more time, get lost. What if I don't? The man sneered. Then I'll beat you until you do. With that, Qiao Linxi swung the frying pan and started pummeling the man. Ouch! You little witch, you really dare hit me. It hurts. It hurts, ow, stop hitting me. Qiao Linxi hadn't expected that her slender body would have such strength, and she knocked the man into a wild scramble, trying to protect his head. The man fled far away, and Qiao Linxi finally stopped. Seeing the steamed bun on the ground, she kicked it away. Take your dirty buns and get lost. Don't come near me again, or I'll beat you up every time I see you. The man ran off in a panic. Just as Qiao Linxi was about to go back, she heard a scream and a slap. Why are you screaming? If you want to be with me, then behave. Otherwise, I won't give you anything to eat after I'm done with you. You can scream after I'm finished. Qiao Linxi followed the sound and saw a man on top of a girl, tearing at her clothes. Beast! Qiao Linxi shouted, but she didn't intervene. If the girl was willing to trade her body for food, it wasn't her place to stop it. But the girl seemed very familiar. Qiao Linshan? The name appeared in Qiao Linxi's mind, and she looked carefully. It was indeed her second uncle's daughter, Qiao Linshan. She was a year younger than Qiao Linxi, only 13 years old this year. Damn it! Qiao Linxi gritted her teeth, gripping her frying pan tightly as she strode toward them. Qiao Linshan struggled beneath the man, but at 13, she couldn't fight off an adult man. Realizing this, she closed her eyes in resignation, allowing the man to tear at her clothes. The tears in her eyes told of her unwillingness. Bang! FCK, who hit me? Qiao Linxi's frying pan landed squarely on the man's back. She didn't dare hit his head in case she killed him accidentally, which would get her into trouble. The man turned around and saw Qiao Linxi, who was holding an unknown object. Perverted bastard. I'll kill you for bullying my sister. Qiao Linxi's combat strength was astonishing. She quickly had the man fleeing in all directions. Stop. The girl is willing, I didn't force her. Ask her yourself. The man kept running while explaining, but Qiao Linxi didn't listen, still hitting him and cursing, Get lost, you beast. You're worse than a dog. Terrified by Qiao Linxi's strength, the man ran off. Qiao Linxi then put the frying pan away and helped Qiao Linshan up. Are you stupid? Qiao Linxi looked at Qiao Linshan with a bit of disappointment. Why did you get involved? Qiao Linshan sat up, clutching her clothes. Do you know what you were doing? You're only 13. How could you do such a thing just for food? What else can I do? Qiao Linshan shouted at Qiao Linxi, Lele is starving to death. Can I, as the elder sister, just watch him die of hunger? Lele? Qiao Linxi's mind raced with names. Lele was her second uncle's son, one of the younger children in the family. Qiao Linshan was the eldest, followed by Qiao Linping, Qiao Linan, Qiao Linxi, and finally Qiao Linle. Qiao Linxi smiled faintly. People in this era really knew how to have children. All right, put your clothes on. I'll find a way to get you some food. Qiao Linxi slyly glanced at her system. Seeing she had a bit of gratitude value, she didn't hesitate to sign in. The result was: congratulations to their host for receiving 5 siblings. Chapter 4, The System is a Dog. Seeing this, Qiao Linxi cursed, fuck your brothers and sisters, it's not enough that she has 4 now, she wants 5 more. But since the system gave it to her, she has to take it with her. It's really fucked up. Ding, gratitude value increased by 3. Qiao Linxi looked at the system in confusion, and the system did not speak. Then she guessed that it might be Qiao Linshan who was thanking her in her heart. She took it for the lottery without hesitation. Congratulations to their host for obtaining an accelerator that can be used to speed up the progress of the lunchbox. This dog system is quite reliable. After Qiao Linxi used the accelerator, the progress bar of the lunchbox was full, which means she had another steamed bun. Go back and don't do such stupid things again. Qiao Linshan wiped her tears and looked at Qiao Linxi. Thank you, thank you. Qiao Linxi waved his hand and walked back to his own territory. After a while, Qiao Linshan came towards them holding a 2-year-old child, followed by 3 other children. Seeing this army of children, Qiao Linxi covered her face in pain. She was a 14-year-old child and had to take care of 9 younger brothers and sisters. Oh my god, you are kidding me. Sister Linxi. Qiao Linshan walked towards Qiao Linxi holding the child. Qiao Linxi saw that the child was breathing out more than breathing in, so he quickly took it. Where are your parents? Qiao Linxi remembered that Qiao Linshan's family came out earlier than theirs. Dad. Dad is dead, and Mom was captured by those bandits. As Qiao Linshan spoke, she burst into tears. Okay, sit down quickly. Qiao Linxi took Qiao Linler from Qiao Linshan and shook him. Lele, don't sleep. Qiao Linler raised his eyelids, glanced at Qiao Linxi, and then closed his eyes again. Qiao Linxi was also anxious. Even if she had a steamed bun now, Qiao Linler couldn't eat it in this state. What he needed most was water. Thinking about it, Qiao Linxi looked up at Qiao Linshan. Qiao Linshan, just follow me from now on. Shouldn't you thank me? Thank you, Sister Linxi. Thank you, Sister Linxi. Qiao Linshan took the lead, and her younger brothers Ping Anxi all thanked Qiao Linxi. When Qiao Linxi saw that her gratitude value had increased by 6 points, she spent 2 points on a lottery and won 2 wooden planks. After thinking about it, Qiao Linxi asked the system if there was a way to make a wish. The system is also very reliable and told Qiao Linxi that he can exchange 5 points of gratitude for 1 wishing point. Seeing that she was still a little short of gratitude points to redeem her wish points, Qiao Linxi silently thanked God for blessing her brothers and sisters, who were still alive and well. After collecting 5 points of gratitude, she exchanged them for 1 wish point and wished for a bottle of water. The system actually gave her a bottle of water, but she didn't dare take it out. Instead, she hugged Qiao Linler and walked a few steps to his back, then covered his mouth with her hand. Sister, what are you doing? Seeing Qiao Linxi's actions, Qiao Linshan suddenly panicked. She thought Qiao Linxi was going to kill Qiao Linler. Even though Lele is almost starving to death, you can't kill him. Qiao Linshan wanted to go over and hug Qiao Linler, but was stopped by Qiao Linshu. Sister Linshan, my sister is. Qiao Linshu swallowed his words halfway through and changed his words. My sister won't kill Lele, don't worry. Qiao Linxi looked at Qiao Linshu and raised her eyebrows. The brat was quite reliable and did not expose her secret. Qiao Linler in Qiao Linxi's arms felt his lips were cool and he couldn't help sucking them. He took his hand away only when he saw that a quarter of the water in the bottle was gone. Qiao Linler, who couldn't drink the water, burst into tears. Hearing Qiao Linler's crying, Qiao Linshan quickly ran over and hugged Qiao Linler. Qiao Linler finally cried. She had been listless before. She was really worried that Lele would starve to death. Shui, I want to drink some water. Qiao Linler opened his eyes and looked at Qiao Linshan. Qiao Linshan also noticed that there was water on Qiao Linler's lips. She looked at Qiao Linxi in surprise. Sister Linxi, where did you get the water? I secretly saved it before, but I was reluctant to drink it. Well, now that Lele is fine, let's all take a rest. Qiao Linxi rubbed her swollen forehead. She had a headache. These 9 younger brothers and sisters all depended on her, and she also had to rely on the system. She hoped that the system could be more reliable. In this way, Qiao Linxi, a 14-year-old child, spent a long night with his 9 younger brothers and sisters. The next day, Qiao Linxi was awakened by the system reminder. Host can sign in now. Qiao Linxi rolled her eyes in her heart, but still silently repeated the 2 words, sign in her mind. She didn't expect the system to give her anything good, she just wanted a bottle of water. The system gave her a packet of flower seeds. As expected, the dog system is a dog. Why give her flower seeds? Can flowers grow in this damn place? Even if they grow, what's the use? The host doesn't understand this, right? Everything in the system can be synthesized. 2 packs of flower seeds can be synthesized into large flower seeds, and 2 packs of large flower seeds can be synthesized into flowers. Qiao Linxi patiently asked, what do I need flowers for? Can they be eaten? No, flowers can only be used for viewing. So don't you think the host will be in a good mood if you have beautiful flowers? Seeing Qiao Linxi talking to himself, Qiao Linxin was somewhat used to it. She didn't explain and woke up Qiao Linshu and the others and prepared to set off. Qiao Linxi began to express gratitude on a daily basis. Thank God we are all still alive. After gaining some more gratitude points, Qiao Linxi clicked on the lottery and received a piece of wood. It seems that I need to collect more gratitude points. Qiao Linxi thought about it and tried to make Qiao Linxin and the others as grateful as he was. As a result, there were really gratitude points. Qiao Linxi quickly drew the lottery. The gratitude points of Qiao Linxin and the other 3 were only 4 points. Qiao Linxi drew for wooden boards, which together with the previous 2 made only 6. Thinking of this, Qiao Linxi looked at Qiao Linshan and told them to be grateful to God for letting them be alive. Although Qiao Linshan was reluctant, she still did it. Qiao Linxi got another 5 points of gratitude. She took them to the lottery and won 5 wooden boards. Qiao Linxi combined the 10 wooden boards into a lunchbox, which was the lunchbox before the upgrade. Previously the lunchbox was shown at level 1, but now it is at level 2. The progress bar has been shortened by half, and 2 steamed buns can be produced at a time, which means 4 steamed buns a day. This is reasonable and can barely keep one alive. Okay, come around. Qiao Linxi asked her 9 younger brothers and sisters to gather around her. She took out 3 steamed buns from the lunchbox, broke them open and gave them to the children. Then she asked them to bend their palms and poured a little water into each of their hands. Although it is a small amount, it can still moisten the lips, which is very satisfying for children who have not had any water for several days. Thank you, Sister Linxi. Thank you, sister. Several children thanked her sensibly, and Qiao Linxi's gratitude value increased by 9 points. She used 5 points to exchange for a wish, asked for a bottle of water, and used 4 points for the lottery. Congratulations to their host for having 9 younger brothers and sisters. What the hell? Qiao Linxi screamed uncontrollably. Chapter 5: 18 Brothers and Sisters. Congratulations to their host for having 9 younger brothers and sisters. The soft and cute voice of the system sounded in Qiao Linxi's mind again, and Qiao Linxi was so angry that he cursed. You stupid system, why do I need so many brothers and sisters? You are such a talent, you have 18 brothers and sisters, why don't you give me 108? I can still be a hero on Liangshan Mountain. You stupid system, what are you doing giving me 18 brothers and sisters in this crappy place? Can they be eaten? The system became autistic after being scolded by Qiao Linxi. Sister. Qiao Linxi pushed Qiao Linxi. She was scared when she saw Qiao Linxi going crazy. What are you doing? Qiao Linxi was filled with rage. She was so unlucky that she had to have 18 brothers and sisters. Qiao Linxi, let me ask you, doesn't my family have 18 children? Qiao Linxi was stunned for a moment before she whispered, including the money from my 3rd and 4th uncles, there are some. Oh my god. After getting the confirmation, Qiao Linxi cursed. Host, don't be angry. 18 brothers and sisters can provide you with 18 points of gratitude every day. Add your own gratitude, and you can get 19 points of gratitude every day. Collect some from others, and you can upgrade your lunchbox every day. With food, you can survive. Why don't you say that 18 brothers and sisters need to eat a lot every day? Everything has its pros and cons. Don't be angry, anger makes you old. The soft and cute system quietly helps you draw a lottery. The prizes have been distributed. The host, hurry up and claim them. Qiao Linxi didn't expect the system to give her anything good, so she opened it casually and saw that it was, indeed, just a bottle of shampoo. What's the point of shampoo in a place like this where there's no water? Okay, everyone, let's go. Qiao Linxi turned around and counted the number of people, 9 in total, and then led them to follow the main group forward. Qiao Linshan carried the youngest Qiao Linla on her back, held her younger brother tightly and followed Qiao Linxi. Just because Qiao Linxi could take out steamed buns and water, she had to follow her. After walking for a while, the group saw a big tree, but the ground under the tree was full of people, some of whom were picking leaves and chewing them. This drought really left no chance for survival. The leaves of the big trees were quickly picked up, leaving even the bark. Run! The bandits are coming! Someone shouted and the refugees suddenly became panicked. Qiao Linxi quickly pulled Qiao Linxin and shouted, hold hands, hug each other and squat down. She did this to prevent herself from being separated by the crowd. Not far away, a group of people on horseback were riding towards the refugees. Some of them ran away when they saw the bandits, but how could people outrun horses? Those who ran away not only had their packages robbed by the bandits, but were also injured and some died. When several bandits saw Qiao Linxi and the others gathered in a group, they immediately rode over on horseback and surrounded them. Spread. A bandit shot the rifle in his hand at Qiao Linxi and his friends. Qiao Linxi immediately asked his brothers and sisters to hold hands and line up. Hey, there's nothing here. I thought you were protecting something good. One of the bandits spat at the siblings, and the other looked at Qiao Linxi. Isn't there a pretty little girl here? Take her home to play with, and you can roast her when you get tired of playing with her. When Qiao Linxi and the others heard this, they trembled with fear, but did not dare to cry. Qiao Linxi's mind was working rapidly, and he looked up at the bandit. What the hell? At this moment, Qiao Linxi's eyes and mouth were crooked, and he was spitting white saliva. Eat, eat. Qiao Linxi let go of Qiao Linxi and walked towards the bandit's horse with stiff steps. He coughed while talking, and spit flew all over the air. Is it tuberculosis? Don't get infected. Several bandits spat at Qiao Linxi and rode away on their horses. Qiao Linxi, who had escaped the disaster, saw the bandits walking away and quickly spat out what was in his mouth. Par, par, par. Qiao Linxi was crying and snotting. The thing in her mouth was shampoo. It smelled good, but in her mouth it tasted. Sister, are you okay? Seeing Qiao Linxi foaming at the mouth, Qiao Linxi stepped forward worriedly. It's okay. Everyone is here, right? Qiao Linxi said, and counted again, 7, 8, 9, all 9 are here. Fortunately, we are all still alive. Qiao Linxi patted his chest with lingering fear, and his gratitude value increased a little bit. She didn't dare waste water to clean her mouth. She just wiped her mouth with her clothes and continued walking. Soon, the 9 younger brothers and sisters given to her by the system appeared. Because of the attack by bandits, only a few children were left in the families of Qiao Linxi's 3rd and 4th uncles. The eldest son in my 3rd uncle's family is named Qiao Linbao, the rest are named Jinyu Mantang, and there are only 4 children in my 4th uncle's family named Zhixiang Rui. This made Qiao Linxi happy. The people in this family were quite cultured. They were good at playing chess, calligraphy and painting, and they were safe and happy, with a house full of wealth and good fortune. The names were easy to remember, but Qiao Linxi couldn't remember who was who. He just counted the number of people and found that there were exactly 18, not one more or one less. 11. Qiao Linxi's 4th uncle was still breathing. He held Qiao Linxi's hand and said, "You are the eldest sister. Zhixiang Rui and the others are now in your hands. You should do your best to take care of them. If they really cannot survive, I will not blame you." After saying that, 4th Uncle Qiao also passed away. Qiao Linxi had no choice but to take the children to bury the 4 adults. After burying them, she counted her brothers and sisters again before she started talking. From now on, I will take care of you. You must obey me. Otherwise, I will leave him on the road and let him starve to death. Qiao Linbao from his 3rd uncle's family is the eldest child, a boy, which makes Qiao Linxi feel that it is not so bad. Except for Qiao Linla, the youngest child in his 2nd uncle's family, the youngest of the others is at least 3 years old and can take care of themselves. This group of children, including a pair of twins in one family, made Qiao Linxi sigh that their genes were so strong. After taking in the children from his 3rd and 4th uncle's families, Qiao Linxi gained another 9 points of gratitude. The gratitude points comforted Qiao Linxi a little, as he no longer had to starve to death. When they arrived at a village, Qiao Linxi looked at the thatched houses on the yellow earth and sighed. There is no food here, so it seems we have to move on. But since there is a village here, there should be some daily necessities, such as backpacks. Qiao Linxi thought that there might be more and more things in the system in the future. They couldn't just appear out of thin air, right? She had told her brothers and sisters about everything, but there were others as well. There were so many people and they would talk a lot. What if she let something slip and was caught as a monster? Thinking about it, Qiao Linxi took out 4 points of the 9 points of gratitude to draw a lottery. Har! In addition to giving her 18 brothers and sisters, the system also gave her a can of lollipops. Qiao Linxi planned to take one out and exchange it for some daily necessities in the village. Chapter 6, Acting Skills. With this in mind, Qiao Linxi stood in front of a row of brothers and sisters. "You, come with me, Qiao Linbao, you are the oldest boy among us, you have to take good care of your brothers and sisters. Don't run around if you don't have anything to do. And Qiao Linshan, you take care of them and wait for us to come back." The people Qiao Linxi named were Qiao Linping from his 2nd uncle's family and Qiao Linji from his 4th uncle's family. Qiao Linbao is from my 2nd uncle's family. He is 11 years old this year and is almost as tall as Qiao Linxi. "Sister, what are you going to do?" Qiao Linxin looked at Qiao Linxi. "I'll go with you." "No, just keep an eye on them. Hold hands and form a circle. Don't pay any attention to anyone who calls you." "Got it." Qiao Linxi turned into a nagging old woman and gave instructions several times before leaving. Qiao Linxi led the two boys towards the village. There were several ferocious-looking men standing at the entrance of the village. Recently, there had been waves of refugees arriving, so they had no choice but to send people to guard the entrance of the village to prevent the refugees from entering to steal things. Stop! You are not allowed to enter the village. Qiao Linxi stopped immediately after being scolded by the big man in the middle. She pulled Qiao Linxi and Qiao Lingping and said with tears in her eyes, "Uncle, we are not bad people, and we will not steal things. I just want to go into the village to exchange some things." The big man saw that Qiao Linxi was a girl, then looked at the two half-grown children next to her and couldn't help but frown. "Uncle, please be kind. Both our parents are gone, and I am the only one left. We came to the village just to exchange some things for a backpack so that we can carry things in the future." The man looked at Qiao Linxi and asked, "What do you want in exchange?" "I." Qiao Linxi bit her lip, "I'll exchange it for candy." As she spoke, Qiao Linxi opened her palm, and a pink lollipop lay in it. "I only have one candy, but I have 18 brothers and sisters, so it's not enough to share. So I thought of exchanging it for something useful." "No, who knows what's in your hand?" The man refused to let Qiao Linxi go because he hadn't seen the lollipop in her hand. "Uncle, do you have children at home? Why don't you let them try it? It's really sweet. If there wasn't only one, I wouldn't be willing to give it up in exchange." The man still didn't believe Qiao Linxi, so Qiao Linxi had to knock the lollipop on the big rock next to her and then pick it up and peel off the outer candy wrapper. The candy ball had broken into pieces. She took a small piece and handed it to the man. "It's really sweet. If you don't believe me, you can try it. Who knows if you're going to poison me? Leave now, or don't blame us for being rude." "R." Qiao Linxi sighed and had to put the lollipop in her mouth, with a satisfied look on her face. It's not that she didn't want to take out the lollipop and share it with her brothers and sisters, but this lollipop makes people thirsty, and there is so little water now. Don't eat the lollipop without water and die of thirst. "Old Lee, I think she's fine eating it. How about we try it too?" Someone nearby smelled the fruit, swallowed and said. Qiao Linxi quickly handed the broken piece to the man. "Uncle, I couldn't have poisoned it. Try it. This candy was given to my father by the wealthy families when he was out there making his living." When the man heard that it was eaten by wealthy families, he put it in his mouth without hesitation. "Hey, it's really sweet." Qiao Linxi gave another person a piece of broken pieces, and that person also said it was sweet, but the person in the middle didn't get any. "Little girl, you're out of candy, we can't let you in." Qiao Linxi's eyes turned red, and she pursed her lips as she fumbled around in her arms. Then she was delighted and took out another one. "I have another one." "Hey, then come with me. I have what you want at home." In this way, Qiao Linxi successfully entered the village. Qiao Linping and Qiao Linji behind him looked at the candy in Qiao Linxi's hand and swallowed their saliva. They also wanted to eat it. Qiao Linxi followed the man into the village, only to find that everyone in the village made a living by working as a blacksmith. However, due to years of drought, crops could not be grown, so no one bought farm tools. "Uncle, do you have any sickles or anything like that at home? Can you give me some? We are fleeing, and having something in our hands can also help us protect ourselves, right?" "Yes, but don't you just want the backpack?" Qiao Linxi's eyes were red. "I also want something to defend myself. To be honest, besides these two brothers, I have 16 brothers and sisters. They are all very young and I am afraid of being bullied. You also know that the droughts over the years have driven people crazy. During the escape, many people were so hungry that they would eat people. We are all children. If we are targeted by someone, it will be very dangerous." 10:16. How come your parents are so fertile? Including you, they have 19 children, right? The big man was shocked by Qiao Linxi's words. Qiao Linxi nodded with red eyes. "Yes, including me, there are 19 children in total. Our parents are dead, and I am the only eldest sister." "Oh, what a poor girl." The man's wife heard the conversation and walked in. "Master, just give her something. Although we don't have food to give her, we have sickles and backpacks at home, and they are not worth much. The sickle is rusty, so just give it to her." "Thank you, auntie. You are kind and beautiful. You are truly the reincarnation of a living bodhisattva." Qiao Linxi successfully got what she wanted with her acting skills. The man was kind-hearted and gave the thing to her without asking for Qiao Linxi's candy. But Qiao Linxi still stuffed the candy into his wife's hand. She also did not forget to thank the couple, and asked Qiao Lingji and Qiao Linping to thank the couple as well, which increased her gratitude. It seems that this system is pretty good. As long as you hear words of thanks, you will collect gratitude points. Of course, this host is the super invincible, super soft and cute little system cutie in the entire system world. Chirp. Qiao Linxi rolled her eyes in her heart. Without saying anything, she took the two boys out of the village. Her brothers and sisters were all standing there waiting for her. Looking at her 18 brothers and sisters who were as good as the heroes of Liangshan, Qiao Linxi had a headache. She really couldn't remember so many people, nor could she take care of them all the time. So, as the eldest sister, she started to lecture them. From today on, all of you have to follow me. Of course, you can also choose to make a living on your own, and I won't stop you. If you want to continue to follow me, then I will do my best to take care of you. But there are too many of us, and I can't take care of everyone, so the eldest brothers and sisters in each of your families will be responsible for taking care of their younger brothers and sisters. Come and talk to me if you have any problems. I don't ask for anything from you, I just hope you can be grateful. Only with gratitude can you live a better life. From now on, the first thing we do when we wake up is to do a Thanksgiving ceremony. Got it. New. The 18 brothers and sisters were very obedient, which made Qiao Linxi feel a little better. Sister Linxi, where are we going next? Chapter 7. She is the light. Where to go? Qiao Linxi didn't know either. She just distributed the backpacks and sickles she got to the elder brothers and sisters of each family, handed the backpack on her back to Qiao Linqin, and she carried Qiao Linhua on her back. The group of children continued to move forward. As they were all children, they attracted a lot of attention, and some even came to steal their backpacks. They thought that if a group of children could survive for so long, they must have food, but in the end, there was nothing in the backpacks except some rusty sickles. Everyone is moving forward. Although they don't know what the future holds, they all have one thought in their mind: as long as they move forward, there is hope. Qiao Linxi didn't know how long she had been walking with her brothers and sisters. She had a few steamed buns and bottles of water in her system, but because there were too many refugees on the road, she didn't dare to take them out. She could only endure hunger and thirst. In the back, 8-year-old Qiao Linxi was whispering to 11-year-old Qiao Linbao, "Brother Linbao, I'm going to tell you a secret. Don't tell anyone else." "Well, you tell me." Qiao Linbao pulled the 3-year-old Qiao Lintang, "I won't tell anyone else." "Come here." Qiao Linxi leaned close to Qiao Linbao's ear and whispered, "My sister is a fairy. She can turn into steamed buns. But she only uses magic when the stars come out. Hey." After saying this, Qiao Linxi sighed. "Really? Then your sister is really amazing." Qiao Linbao didn't take Qiao Linxi's words seriously. He was 11 years old and understood a lot of things. He also knew that there were no fairies in this world. Qiao Linxi looked back at her two mysterious brothers and ignored them. She thought that since the system gave her these 18 brothers and sisters, they would probably listen to her. Otherwise, it would be impossible for her to support all 18 of them. Qiao Linxi was not a kind person, she would not do anything that would make her unhappy. If any of her 18 brothers and sisters disobeyed her or did something that harmed her interests, she would definitely draw a clear line with them. She has no responsibility to support these cousins. "Brother, I'm hungry." Qiao Lini, a 5-year-old girl from her fourth uncle's family, cried while pulling her brother. 10-year-old Qiao Lingji looked at Qiao Linxi's back and coaxed his sister, "Be good, Lin Yi, there will be food soon. Sister Lin, she has some candy, she will give it to you later." Invisibly, Qiao Linxi has become the hope of all children. She is also the light in the eyes of children. As long as they follow the light, they will always get out of the abyss. Oh. 5-year-old Qiao Lini didn't know whether his brother's words were true or false, so he nodded obediently and stopped talking. More and more refugees were coming forward, all coming from all directions. Qiao Linxi and his friends were very eye-catching. Some even had their eyes on Qiao Linxi. "Girl." A woman came over to talk to Qiao Linxi because she was pretty. "It must be hard for you to take care of so many brothers and sisters by yourself, right? Why don't you come and walk with us?" The woman said, approaching Qiao Linxi mysteriously, "I can give you half a steamed bun, as long as you agree to marry my son, the bun will be yours." As she spoke, the woman carefully took out something wrapped in black cloth from her bosom. After opening it layer by layer, she revealed half of a hard and yellowed steamed bun. In such a famine situation, it is really not easy to save half a steamed bun. But for Qiao Linxi, who had a plug-in system, this half-yellowed bun was a little ridiculous. She could have several fragrant and soft white buns. Well, if you marry my son, you won't have to worry about these brothers and sisters. There are 3 of us in our family, plus you, there are only 4 of us. We can definitely survive if we go together. But it's still unknown whether you can survive with so many brothers and sisters. It has to be said that the woman's words made a lot of sense, and made Qiao Linxi feel that marrying her son was a very correct choice. Sister. Qiao Linxi gritted her teeth and hesitated for a long time before speaking. Sister, please agree to this lady. I think her son is also a good man, handsome and talented. Qiao Linxi thought that Qiao Linxi would not let her get married, but she didn't expect that this sister would actually persuade her to get married. Can you bear to see me get married and leave you alone? Qiao Linxi asked. We have so many siblings, and if one can survive, it's a win. Why are you so good? I'll give you a steamed bun as a reward. Qiao Linxi rubbed Qiao Linxi's hair, stretched out her fist in front of Qiao Linxi, and asked Qiao Linxi to bump fists with her. After Qiao Linxi touched it, Qiao Linxi opened her hand and found nothing inside. However, she said, "Look, a big, fragrant steamed bun." Qiao Linxi burst out laughing, then pretended to take the bun and put it in her mouth, chewing it with a smacking sound, and said with a satisfied look on her face, "It's delicious. Don't worry, I won't abandon you." After saying that, Qiao Linxi looked at the woman and said, "Thank you for your favor, auntie, but my brothers and sisters are still young, I won't abandon them." Alas, the woman lamented, "What a good child, it's a pity that he ran into a famine." After walking for a long time, I could vaguely see the city wall on a piece of yellow land. When I got closer, I realized that it was really a city wall. But the city gate was closed, and there were several people with knives in their hands guarding the gate. The city gate had already been surrounded by refugees who had arrived early. They all wanted to enter the city, believing that there must be food in the city. Qiao Linxi did not take his younger brothers and sisters to squeeze with the refugees, but found an open place for his younger brothers and sisters to sit down and rest. There are 3 bottles of water and 5 steamed buns in her system. She stored one last night and produced for more in the lunchbox today. It was quite a test for Qiao Linxi to share the water equally among his 18 brothers and sisters. 3 bottles of 500 milliliters water equaled 1,500 milliliters, which was divided into 18 portions, so each person could drink 80 milliliters, cut a steamed bun into 4 pieces, so each person could get a quarter of a steamed bun. After figuring out how to divide it, Qiao Linxi was in trouble again. The steamed buns were easy, but how could the water be divided evenly? Thinking of this, Qiao Linxi exchanged 5 points of gratitude for a little wishing point, and used the wishing point to exchange for a few measuring cups. Perhaps because Qiao Linxi felt bad for taking care of 18 brothers and sisters, the system gave her for 100 milliliters small measuring cups. Come here. Qiao Linxi carried Qiao Linhua on her back and walked towards a farther place. Seeing Qiao Linxi's actions, Qiao Linxi's eyes suddenly lit up. His sister was walking towards a deserted place. Was she going to cast a spell to turn into a steamed bun? Sister. Qiao Linxi followed Qiao Linxiu and walked towards Qiao Linxi. The others saw that Qiao Linxi and her 4 siblings had followed Qiao Linxi, so they also followed them. Chapter 8, Government Distributes Porridge. After walking a long way, Qiao Linxi finally stopped. Come around, everyone. Looking at these 18 brothers and sisters, Qiao Linxi's heart was bleeding. What sin had she committed? Was it because she cursed her boss behind his back in her previous life? After taking a deep breath, Qiao Linxi took out the frying pan from Qiao Linxi's backpack and placed it on the ground, saying seriously, "I am about to cast a spell. No one of you can talk to disturb me. Otherwise, it will affect my magic power." Sister, we got it. Qiao Linxi covered her mouth with her hands after having learned from her previous experience. The others followed suit. Qiao Linler from my second uncle's family was only 2 years old. Qiao Linshan was afraid that he would make a sound, so she covered his mouth. Seeing that her younger brothers and sisters were very obedient, Qiao Linxi once again felt that things were not that bad, and she started mumbling something she didn't even understand. Magic, magic, change, change. Qiao Linxi put his hand on the frying pan, and after taking it away, 4 measuring cups appeared. After changing once, all 5 steamed buns appeared. Qiao Linxi picked them up and divided each bun into 4 parts, giving each person a small piece. A few more bottles of water appeared, and each child drank 80 milliliters of water. Qiao Linxi took a sip of the remaining water and put it away. Thank you, sister. Thank you, Sister Linxi. The 18 brothers and sisters all ate and thanked Qiao Linxi, so she immediately gained 18 points of gratitude. Qiao Linxi took it to the lottery and won 18 wooden boards. They combined it into a first-level lunchbox, and there were still 2 wooden boards missing. Qiao Linxi thanked her brothers and sisters in her heart and gained another 18 points of gratitude. I have to say that this gratitude value is easy to obtain. Qiao Linxi asks her younger brothers and sisters to thank her every day, and she will have 36 points of gratitude when she thanks them. After Qiao Linxi turned all the wood boards into wooden boards, the box became 3 first-level lunch boxes. He used 2 of them to synthesize a second-level lunch box. Then, he combined the newly synthesized second-level lunch box with the previous one, and it became a third-level lunch box. A level 3 lunch box can produce 6 steamed buns each time, 3 times a day, which means that Qiao Linxi can now have 18 steamed buns a day. Qiao Linxi breathed a sigh of relief. 18 steamed buns a day, 1 for each person. At least they wouldn't starve to death. You are all my brothers and sisters. You must keep the fact that I know magic a secret. If anyone leaks it, I will leave him on the road and let him starve to death. Don't worry, sister. We will definitely keep it a secret. Qiao Linxi raised her finger and swore, and the others swore the same way. Okay, let's take a break and continue on our journey. Qiao Linxi only drank some water and was still very hungry. She couldn't help but want to take out some candy to eat several times, but she held back when she thought that she would be thirsty after eating the candy. Qiao Linxi had just closed his eyes and was about to take a nap when he heard a sudden commotion at the city gate. Run quickly, the official is distributing porridge. The government distributes porridge. Qiao Linxi muttered, is the government so good? Qiao Linxi didn't believe it no matter how he looked at it. Sister, there is porridge, let's go get it quickly. After Qiao Linxi and Qiao Linxu finished talking, they ran towards the city gate, and the others also ran over. There was nothing they could do, they were too hungry, and the steamed buns were not enough to fill their teeth. But they were just children after all, and there were no adults around, so they were soon pushed to the side and could only stand on tiptoe, stretch their heads, and try their best to move forward. The originally tightly closed city gate slowly opened, and out came a dozen officials holding knives. Then came a few people pushing a bullock cart, on which was a large pot filled with the thinnest porridge. To put it bluntly, it was just a few grains of rice floating in the water. Even so, the refugees squeezed forward with all their might, as if they were afraid that if they didn't use enough strength they would not be able to drink the porridge. Everyone line up, don't push. Don't push. A dozen officers armed with knives so that there were too many refugees and they could no longer control the situation, so they drew their knives and pointed them at the refugees in the front. Some strong men squeezed to the front. Hunger made them braver and they rushed forward without paying any attention to the gleaming knives of the officers. But the next second, his head fell off. See? This is what happens when you don't obey orders. The death of someone frightened the refugees, and they involuntarily took a few steps back and lined up obediently. Fellow villagers, a man in official clothes walked out of the city. He was the county magistrate of this city. Listen to me, folks. There has been drought for years and there is nothing to eat in the city. I begged for this porridge from door to door in the city. Drink the porridge and leave. Go somewhere else to make a living. After the county magistrate finished speaking, he glanced at the refugees and said, line up in 2 lines, 1 for the elderly and children, and 1 for the young and middle-aged. Our porridge will be distributed to the elderly and children first. Don't crowd. Everyone will have a share. The county magistrate's words were indeed effective. The young and strong men consciously lined up on the other side, and some people began to take bowls of porridge and distribute them to the elderly and children. Some saw that the porridge was getting less and less, so they directly snatched some of the elderly's porridge and drank it all in one gulp. However, they died before they could even finish their porridge. I have already told the elderly and children to eat first, so why are there still some evil people who want to snatch it? The county magistrate looked at the few people who were still staring with their eyes wide open. Qiao Linxi and several children were originally lined up, but adults in front of them kept pushing their own children in, which caused them to be pushed further and further back. A porridge distribution event vividly reflects the weakness of human nature. Qiao Linxi saw that many elderly people took porridge, but as soon as they turned around, their sons, daughters or daughters-in-law snatched it away. Some children were snatched away by their parents. For a moment, the scene was in chaos, with some thanking the county magistrate and others cursing the children. "Mom, you eat." A child of 4 or 5 years old brought the porridge. His parents protected him, so no one snatched it from him. "Good boy, mommy's not hungry." The child handed it to his father again. "Dad, you eat it." His father rubbed his head and said, "Dad is not hungry either." The boy saw that his parents were not eating, so he said, "If my parents are not hungry, then I am not hungry either. Let's eat together when we are both hungry." "Okay, Dad will put it away for you. We'll eat together when you're hungry." The man poured the porridge into a water bag and put it away carefully. "Sister, you eat." Qiao Linxi turned around and saw Qiao Linbao holding a bowl and passing it to her. "You didn't get to eat just now, this is for you." Qiao Linbao held the bowl carefully and looked at Qiao Linxi. It turned out that Qiao Linbao was smart and ran to the front to get a bowl of porridge. "I'm not hungry, you guys eat it." Qiao Linxi looked at the porridge with a few grains of rice floating in the water and had no appetite. "Sister, just eat. I'm not hungry either. You didn't eat just now." Qiao Linbao handed the porridge to Qiao Linxi again. "If you're not hungry, just give it to me." Just as the brother and sister were trying to refuse, the bowl in Qiao Linbao's hand was snatched away. Chapter 9: Opening the Back Door. Qiao Linbao looked back and saw a very burly man. He wanted to grab the porridge, but the man had already drunk it in one gulp. The 11-year-old boy's eyes instantly turned red, and he raised his small fist to hit the man. "Linbao, forget it." Qiao Linxi held Qiao Linbao, and the man proudly showed off the empty bowl. "I'm sorry, Sister Linxi, if I were older, no one would bully us." As Qiao Linbao spoke, tears rolled out of his eyes, which made Qiao Linxi feel a little distressed. "It's okay. You're a man now and can protect your brothers and sisters." Qiao Linxi patted Qiao Linbao on the shoulder and said, "Take your brothers and sisters away to rest. I'll see if I can find a way to get some food in the city. I'll go with you." Qiao Linxi shook his head. "You are the oldest boy in our family, you have to be responsible for protecting your younger brothers and sisters." "I can do it alone, there will be no problem." Qiao Linbao glanced at the group of brothers and sisters and nodded. "Well, Sister Linxi, don't worry, I will definitely protect my brothers and sisters." Seeing Qiao Linbao taking his 17 younger brothers and sisters away, Qiao Linxi breathed a sigh of relief. The situation was not too bad. At least all the children were obedient and united. Qiao Linbao knew that Qiao Linxi was the oldest among their group of children. As the saying goes, an eldest sister is like a mother. They had to listen to Qiao Linxi and they had to unite in order to have hope of survival. Seeing the children walking away and sitting together in a circle as Qiao Linxi had instructed them to do before, Qiao Linxi breathed a sigh of relief and walked towards the city gate. The porridge had been distributed long ago, and the county magistrate and his men quickly retreated back to the city, leaving only a few people to guard the city in case the refugees broke into it. "Stop, no one is allowed to approach the city gate." As soon as Qiao Linxi approached, an officer drew his knife and pointed it at her. "Sir, don't get excited. I won't go in." Qiao Linxi quickly raised his hand and said, "I'm telling you refugees, there's no food left in the city. Leave now if you want to survive." Qiao Linxi nodded. I know. I'm not going into the city. I just want to ask where to get to the next city." "I don't know, don't bother me." "Mr. Official." Qiao Linxi's eyes turned red. She used her acting skills again and grabbed the official's hand. "Can you find me a map? I want to get to the next city as quickly as possible with so many brothers and sisters. With a map, we can avoid unnecessary detours." "Sir." Seeing that the person she was pulling didn't move, Qiao Linxi reached for another person's hand and said, "Please be merciful. Look over there. Those dozen children are my brothers and sisters. As the eldest sister, I have to take care of them. Please find me a map. Please." As she spoke, Qiao Linxi started to cry, her eyes were full of tears, and the official blushed a little. All right, don't cry in front of me. It's bad luck. I'll help you find a solution. Perhaps moved by Qiao Linxi's tears, the officer took action, said something to his companions and went back to the city. Qiao Linxi just stood there waiting. Many people who had eaten the porridge nearby kept thanking the county magistrate, saying things like he was the reincarnation of a living bodhisattva. Those refugees have no intention of leaving. They just stay here. Maybe the government will distribute porridge to them tomorrow. Qiao Linxi collected gratitude points while waiting, and as she watched the gratitude points rise, she gradually became happy. She quickly drew a lottery, and was awarded a bag of flower seeds. Alas, we must not get carried away. Qiao Linxi shook his head and combined this flower seed with the previous one to form a pack of large flower seeds. The rest were wooden boards, which Qiao Linxi used to combine into a lunchbox. This lunchbox is quite difficult to upgrade. A first-level lunchbox requires 10 wooden boards, and 1 steamed bun is produced each time, once a day. 2 level 1 meal sets can be upgraded to level 2, producing 2 steamed buns each time, twice a day. To upgrade from level 2 to level 3, you need 2 level 2 lunchboxes, 6 steamed buns each time, 3 times a day. A level 3 lunchbox requires 40 wooden boards. If you want to upgrade to level 4, you will need 2 level 3 lunchboxes, which means 80 wooden boards. Level 5 requires 2 level 4 ones, which requires 160 wooden boards. Level 6. Oh, Qiao Linxi is confused. Anyway, I can use the gratitude points to draw a lottery. After waiting for about half an hour, the person who was pulled by Qiao Linxi at the beginning felt a little bit sorry when he saw Qiao Linxi, a pretty girl, had her face reddened by the sun. Said, "Girl, come closer, this place can also block the sun." No. Qiao Linxi smiled and refused. Perhaps because he saw that Qiao Linxi was innocent, the man spoke again, "How about you come here and I'll let you go into the city?" Qiao Linxi shook her head again, "Thank you for your kindness, sir. If I were alone, I would definitely go in, but I have so many brothers and sisters that I won't go in and cause trouble for you, sir." The conversation between the two was heard by the people next to them. A woman who didn't get to eat the porridge became unhappy and stood up and walked towards Qiao Linxi. "Sir, please let me in." The officer glanced at the woman and ignored her. The woman immediately became unhappy and said loudly, "Why let her in but not us? Is it because this little girl is pretty?" Qiao Linxi glanced at the woman and said nothing. The woman felt like she had punched cotton. This is incredible. Young girls nowadays are so powerful that they can hook up with the police to get backdoor access. Everyone come and take a look. As the woman spoke, the people around her started to make a noise. When the woman saw that someone was making a noise, she spoke even more excitedly. "You are still young and don't learn good things. All you have learned is how to seduce people." Qiao Linxi glanced at the woman and said, "This lady is old but still hasn't learned well. She keeps saying slanderous things." "You?" The woman was only in her early 20s, still young in theory, but she was so angry when Qiao Linxi described her as old. I'm going to beat you to death, you little bitch. You're just relying on your youth and beauty to seduce the police. I'm not going to tear your face off." The woman raised her hand excitedly and was about to hit Qiao Linxi. At this time, the official who went into the city to find a map for Qiao Linxi came out and saw this scene and scolded him. "What are you doing? Want to cause trouble? Believe it or not, I will kill you." The officer actually drew out a knife as he spoke. The woman was so scared that she took a few steps back. These officers were really capable of killing people. "Girl, take the map you asked for and leave quickly, otherwise you will be in trouble if you can't reach the next city before dark." The officer handed a package wrapped in cloth to Qiao Linxi. Qiao Linxi was stunned when he took it. There were other things in the cloth bag. Chapter 10 Despair. The cloth bag was bulging and exuded a familiar smell. Sniff. The woman next to her smelled an enticing scent and sniffed hard. Where does the smell of steamed buns come from? It smells so good. It's not that the woman has a good nose, but hunger will amplify a person's sense of smell. The woman sniffed around and finally fixed her eyes on the package in Qiao Linxi's hand. Then he stared at Qiao Linxi and asked, "Do you have any steamed buns?" "Where are the steamed buns?" Qiao Linxi put the cloth bag into his arms and ignored the crazy woman. "It's on you. I saw it all." As she said that, the woman came up and pulled Qiao Linxi, "Take it out quickly. Don't hide the food. Are you crazy? Where can I get steamed buns? Being pulled by the woman, Qiao Linxi finally got angry and grabbed his clothes and was about to leave. I saw it all. He gave it to you, and he said you had no relationship. If you hadn't hooked up with him, how could this officer have given you the steamed buns alone? When they heard that there were steamed buns, everyone pounced on Qiao Linxi like hungry wolves. During the struggle, someone started to tear Qiao Linxi's clothes. Although Qiao Linxi had the soul of a 30-year-old, her body was still that of a teenager. How could she resist the starving refugees? What are you doing? Are you guys being hooligans? Help me. Qiao Linxi was soon pounced on, and someone tore her clothes, revealing her pink bellaband. At that moment, Qiao Linxi felt as if she had become a wounded little lamb, and these people were tigers and hungry wolves, tearing at her flesh. For the first time, Qiao Linxi experienced what despair was. What are you doing? Let my sister go. Hearing Qiao Linxi's cry for help, Qiao Linbao and several boys rushed over from a distance to pull away those who kept throwing themselves at Qiao Linxi. But they were all children who had not grown up, and their strength was not as great as that of adults. Besides, these people thought they had food, so they went crazy, and they could not pull those people at all. What are you doing? The officers at the city gate could not bear to watch any longer, so they drew their knives and hit the refugees with the backs of their knives. Do you want to eat people? Crazy things will not stop until blood is shed. Those people are too crazy, and the words of the police are useless. Maybe it was because Qiao Linxi had left a good impression on the officers before. Seeing her being pressed down by people layer by layer, the officer that Qiao Linxi pulled over at first directly drew out his knife and chopped at the person on the outside without hesitation. Murder, the officer murdered. The blood splashed on the people nearby, and they were also frightened and screamed. In this way, those who were pressing down on Qiao Linxi slowly left, leaving Qiao Linxi lying on the ground in a mess. She looked miserable now. Her coat was gone, and even her skirt was tattered and hung on her legs. Qiao Linxi lay motionless on the ground, staring at the cloudless sky with lifeless eyes, which scared the two brothers Qiao Linbao, Qiao Linshu and Qiao Linxi standing next to him. Sister, what's wrong with you? Don't scare me. Qiao Linshu said, and burst into tears. Sister Linxi, are you okay? Qiao Linbao also looked anxious and didn't know what to do. Qiao Linxi looked at the sky with despair. These people were such bastards. She had never been so miserable in her 30 years of life. Girl, are you okay? Suddenly, the sky above Qiao Linxi's head was covered by a black shadow. Qiao Linxi blinked and saw clearly that it was a person. Her skin, which had been burned by the sun, felt cool, and a navy blue dress was covered on her. The dress was very long and large, covering her from her neck to her knees. Sister. Qiao Linshu pushed Qiao Linxi's arm, and Qiao Linxi sat up suddenly. This startled Qiao Linshu so much that he sat down on the ground. Qiao Linxi stood up, put on his loose clothes, and tied them tightly with the scraps of cloth from his previous clothes. Sister, you. Looking at Qiao Linxi's unfamiliar eyes, Qiao Linshu was a little scared. He had never seen Qiao Linxi like this before. Qiao Linxi glanced at the people around her and accurately identified the culprit who had caused her to become like this. She walked towards the woman. Qiao Linbao was a little worried about her and followed her. Sister Linxi, what are you going to do? Revenge. Qiao Linxi said, and took out the frying pan from the system without any hesitation, and ran straight to the woman. You? Bang. The woman saw Qiao Linxi walking towards her angrily. Just as she was about to speak, Qiao Linxi knocked a frying pan to the ground. The woman screamed, What are you doing? What? Revenge, of course. I'll let you experience the feeling of having your clothes pulled off in public. As Qiao Linxi was speaking, he kept hitting the woman with the frying pan in his hand, making her scream. Boss, are you just going to watch me get beaten? The woman was beaten by Qiao Linxi without any ability to fight back, so she asked her husband for help. The man originally wanted to come over and pull Qiao Linxi away, but was persuaded to back off with just a look from Qiao Linxi. He told himself that he was a man and men don't hit women. After beating her for a while, Qiao Linxi started to strip the woman's clothes. She didn't know where she got the strength from, but she stripped the woman's clothes off in a few strokes. She was left with only a bellaband and panties on her body. You damn little bitch. When the woman was stripped of her clothes, she felt humiliated all of a sudden and stretched out her hands frantically, wanting to fight with Qiao Linxi. At this moment, Qiao Linxi seemed to have a cheat, and her strength was surprisingly great. She handed the frying pan to Qiao Linxi, and she fought the woman with her bare hands, accurately and fiercely. Soon the woman was beaten black and blue. Only Qiao Linxi herself knew that there was always a soft and cute voice in her mind directing her where to attack. Master, master, left hook to the chin, leg lift. The system's soft and cute voice was full of excitement. Master is so powerful, beat this bad guy to death. Right hook, we're done. As soon as the system finished speaking, Qiao Linxi stopped what she was doing. Then she ignored the woman and returned to where she had stood at the beginning, looking down for something. After searching for a while, I finally found the map on the ground, which was crumpled and covered with yellow soil. She picked up the map, shook off the dust on it, stuffed it into her arms, and took Qiao Linxi's hand and walked towards her group of children's army. Sister, are you okay? Qiao Linxi was shocked by Qiao Linxi's fighting power just now. In his impression, his sister was a very gentle and soft-spoken person. And the person who caught the woman and beat her up just now didn't seem to be her sister, but someone else. It's okay, Lin Shu. I'm going to tell you a truth today. If you don't take revenge, you're not a gentleman. Don't use that nonsense that it's never too late for a gentleman to take revenge. If you have a grudge, take it right away. Be open and aboveboard. The man who gave Qiao Linxi the clothes followed them and listened to her words. He inexplicably felt that she was a little cute. Chapter 11, Light in the Eyes. After returning to her own territory, Qiao Linxi tidied her hair and clothes. Sister. Qiao Linxi held Qiao Linhua and looked behind Qiao Linxi. Qiao Linxi then turned around and saw that it was a boy. Why did she say it was a boy? Because Qiao Linxi looked at people with the soul of a man in his 30s, she ignored the fact that she was only 14 years old and less than 1.6 meters tall, shorter than the boy in front of her. The boy should be older than her, with regular features, and even handsome. Maybe it's because he has been wandering outside for many years. The boy has dark skin and stubble. Judging from his appearance, he should be around 20 years old. Oh, girl, my name is Zhao Dongqing. When the boy saw Qiao Linxi's gaze, he immediately bowed and introduced himself. Mr. Zhao, Qiao Linxi patted himself and said, I'm afraid I can't return this dress to you for the time being. No, that's not what I meant. Zhao Dongqing waved his hand quickly. You can wear the clothes, as long as the girl doesn't mind. I think that since we have met, it is also a kind of fate. I wonder if the girl would mind going together. Phut, Qiao Linxi laughed, why should I mind? I have 18 brothers and sisters here. As long as Mr. Zhao doesn't feel that I am a burden to you, I don't mind. Then I will shamelessly go with you. With one more person we can take care of each other better. Qiao Linxi took out the map and studied it. She looked left and right, but couldn't tell which direction was which. Sister Lin Shi, are you okay just now? Qiao Linshan asked while hugging Qiao Linla. Qiao Linshan is 13 years old and understands a lot of things. Qiao Linxi was stripped in public, and she was a little worried that she would be upset. It's okay. Qiao Linxi glanced at Qiao Linshan and knew what she meant. In this era, women's chastity was the most important thing. If a woman was stripped of her clothes in front of outsiders, even if she exposed her feet, she would be accused of being unfaithful. If she was stripped of her clothes in public by so many people and her underwear was exposed, she would be thrown into a pig cage. Lin Shan, you think I'm too embarrassed to see anyone like that, right? Qiao Linshan shook her head. She didn't know what to say. It's okay if someone looks at you. It won't cost you a piece of meat. Not to mention being stripped in this situation, even if you are, well, don't live with other people's strange eyes. Don't go to extremes because of those rumors that are unfavorable to you. We women are a vulnerable group. Even if something unpleasant happens, we must live well and live beautifully. We should not let a victim-blaming theory make us unable to live a dignified life or even choose to commit suicide. When Qiao Linxi said this, his whole body was glowing, his eyes were sparkling and particularly bright. This map. Qiao Linxi said and then took the map to look at it. Here, we are in this position now. A large hand with distinct joints appeared in front of Qiao Linxi's eyes and pointed to a location on the map. It was Zhao Dongqing. Qiao Linxi took a look and saw that the place where they were was just a small dot on the map. She noticed that there were several large buildings drawn in the middle of the map. Qiao Linxi asked curiously, Then, where is this place? This house is so big, this place must be big too, right? This is the imperial city. Where the emperor lives. Qiao Linxi's eyes suddenly lit up. She had only seen that kind of emperor on TV. The highest ranking official I have ever met in real life was the village chief whom I met when I went to my grandmother's house as a child. Yeah. Zhao Dongqing responded. Sister, are we going to the imperial city? Qiao Linxi couldn't help but ask when she saw Qiao Linxi's eyes were so bright. Who can predict what will happen in the future? We just need to keep moving forward and see where we end up. Qiao Linxi didn't have that idea. Although the emperor's residence was luxurious, it might not be easy to get around. It was still unknown whether a group of kids like them could go that far. Where is my pan? Qiao Linxi just remembered that his frying pan was not in his hand, so he turned around to look for it. Qiao Linxi handed the frying pan to Qiao Linxi. Sister, it's here. Qiao Linxi took it and said, you have to keep it well. This is what we eat. If you lose it, we will all go hungry. When others saw Qiao Linxi use this pot to make steamed buns, they thought it was some kind of magical thing and nodded. Qiao Linxi said she would keep it well, and then she put the frying pan in the backpack next to her. Only she knew that she had actually put the frying pan into her system. In addition to the 6 steamed buns that just came out, there were 2 buns that didn't look very good. They were given to her by the official just now. Don't mention it, the woman's nose is really sharp. The official handed the map to Qiao Linxi, and there were indeed 2 steamed buns wrapped in the map. It was just that Qiao Linxi put it in the system, so the refugees tore her clothes apart, but there was nothing. This was what she exchanged her life for, so even if it didn't look good, she had to keep it well. While waiting just now, Qiao Linxi collected a lot of gratitude points, which she used for lottery. In addition to wooden boards, there were also other snacks. As for why the officer found a map for Qiao Linxi and gave her steamed buns, it was because Qiao Linxi stuffed a few lollipops into his hand when he tried to hold his hand. Maybe the official came into the city and saw the lollipop and thought it was sweet, so he was kind-hearted and gave her 2 steamed buns. Sister, I'm hungry. The youngest here is Qiao Linler from my second uncle's family. He is only 2 years old and just cries when he is hungry. Qiao Linxi looked at Qiao Linler's little bun-shaped face and felt a little curious about how his mother had given birth to him and raised him to the age of 2 in such a famine-stricken era. Babies are different from adults. In addition to breast milk, they also eat porridge or complementary foods. There was nothing here, but Qiao Linler was still able to survive. It was simply a miracle. Be good, Lele, there will be food soon. Qiao Linshan coaxed him, but how could a 2-year-old child listen? He just cried. If you don't behave, you must eat, eat. Qiao Linler cried so hard that her lungs were broken. Qiao Linshan had no choice but to look at Qiao Linxi and say, Sister Linxi, look. In Qiao Linshan's mind, Qiao Linxi must have some food stored, because not only did he feed Qiao Linler water last night, but he also gave him steamed buns this morning. Although she didn't know why the steamed bun was still warm, she still placed all her hopes on Qiao Linxi. I don't have any either. Zhao Dongqing, who had been standing behind Qiao Linxi, reached into his arms and was about to take out the half-piece of cake he had saved when he saw Qiao Linxi standing up. She looked at the refugees sitting outside the city gate and said, let's look at the map to see which way we can go to reach the next city faster. As he spoke, Qiao Linxi took the map in his hand and said, if this point is where we are, then there are 2 roads to the next city. Come and see which road we should take. Chapter 12 Believe in Her. Qiao Linshan was coaxing Qiao Linler, so she didn't move forward. The other older ones all took a few steps forward. Qiao Linxi pointed to the 2 roads and explained, if we want to bypass this city to the next city, there are 2 roads, here and here. Qiao Linxi gestured with his fingers, this should be a lake. From the map, this road is longer than this one. And this side should be a mountain road. Let's see which way is better. If there is a lake here, there should be water, right? Qiao Linbao spoke. Not necessarily. It hasn't rained here for several years. The lake doesn't look very big, so it should have dried up long ago. Even if there is still water, it's not our turn. The area is suffering from drought for 100 miles, and there must be many people fleeing famine. If there was water, it would have been occupied long ago. Of course, it could also be that there are fewer people fleeing famine, so we are lucky enough to still have some water to drink. Qiao Linxi pointed to another road and said, since this is a mountain road and there is a forest, there might be wolves, tigers, leopards, etc. It is also dangerous. If there are rabbits or something like that, then we might be able to eat meat. Qiao Linxi explained the pros and cons of both paths and let the children decide which path to take. Although one road is not dangerous, it is half as long as the other road. Although the other road is short, it has some unknown dangers. Sister Linxi, just make the decision. We will all listen to you. Qiao Linxi talked for a long time, and the children listened very seriously, but in the end he said this, letting Qiao Linxi make the decision himself. Yes, sister, just make your decision, we will follow you. Even if you encounter any problems later, we will not blame you. Qiao Linxi rubbed his rumbling stomach. He was looking forward to the night. His sister said that when the stars came out, she would have magic power and could conjure up a lot of steamed buns. Yes, Sister Linxi, we won't blame you. Then, let's take this road. Qiao Linxi pointed to the mountain road. After years of drought, there must be only bare tree trunks in the mountains, and those herbivorous animals must have run away. Without herbivorous animals, then animals that feed on meat, such as wolves, tigers and leopards, may also run away. Qiao Linxi was convinced by what she said. She asked the children to pack their backpacks, sickles and other things, counted the number of people, and then set out on the journey to escape the famine. Before leaving, Qiao Linxi saw some people guarding the city gate wailing, but Qiao Linxi didn't care and took the children on his own way. This was the luck of Qiao Linxi and his friends, as they escaped the disaster because they did not grab the porridge. The government added other things to the porridge distributed by the government, with the purpose of getting rid of the elderly and children who were relatively burdensome people. As it was getting dark, Qiao Linxi looked at the map in his hand and knew that he would not be able to reach the next city before dark, so he had to find an open place to spend the night. Because the weather is hot and it's not cold at night, if you sit in an open area and something dangerous happens, you can know it at the first time. The stars are so bright tonight. Qiao Linxi looked up at the starry sky. Hearing Qiao Linxi's ambiguous words, Qiao Linxi couldn't help but slap the back of his head. Qiao Linxi felt pain and covered the back of his head. Sister, why did you hit me? Don't be so cunning, kid. He, Qiao Linxi pulled Qiao Linxi's hand and said, Sister, I'm hungry. Do you have any magic power? You're the only one who's hungry. We're all hungry too. Qiao Linxi came over, pushed Qiao Linxi away with his butt, and then hugged Qiao Linxi's arm. Sister. Qiao Linxi didn't say anything. Qiao Linxi shook her arm again. Sister, good sister, fairy sister. All right. Qiao Linxi was a little dizzy after being shaken by Qiao Linxi. Come around. After saying that, Qiao Linxi took out a frying pan from his backpack. In order to conceal his whereabouts, Qiao Linxi covered the backpack with a piece of rag. Everyone thought that the magical pot that could produce steamed buns had always been in the backpack. Only Qiao Linxi, who was in charge of carrying the backpack, knew that she had always carried an empty backpack, with nothing in it. However, she did not tell anyone. Qiao Linxi had 8 steamed buns, but he only took out 7. He divided one steamed bun into 3 pieces, which equaled 21 pieces. He gave 1 piece to each person, and there was 1 piece left, which Qiao Linxi gave to the youngest, Qiao Linla. Looking at the steamed bun in his hand, Zhao Dongqing was very surprised. I have a share too. As you said, meeting is fate. My ability is limited, so I can only give each person a small piece. Zhao Dongqing, I am the one who caused you trouble. Zhao Dongqing didn't know how the girl in front of him did it. Although the pot looked very strange, he didn't see any mechanism. He didn't understand how the girl could make the steamed buns appear out of thin air. She was supposed to be hiding in her clothes, but today her clothes were torn and there was nothing inside. It was really magical. No. Qiao Linxi shook her head, looked at her brothers and sisters, and said, I heard someone wants to eat candy. I want to eat. Qiao Linxi immediately raised his hands high. And me. Qiao Linxi also raised his hand. Sister Linxi, I want to eat too. Qiao Linxi, a 10-year-old from his 4th uncle's family, blushed a little when he said this. He felt a little shy, as he had been thinking about the candy in Qiao Linxi's hand for the whole day. Qiao Linxi didn't take it out, so he was too embarrassed to ask for it. His sister Qiao Linxi had already made a fuss, so he was too embarrassed to ask Qiao Linxi for it. Well, stretch out your hands and close your eyes. I'm going to cast a spell. Okay. The dozen or so children were very happy. They didn't think Qiao Linxi might lie to them. They all believed Qiao Linxi. If Qiao Linxi said there was candy, then there must be candy. All the children closed their eyes and stretched out their hands. Qiao Linxi took out the can of lollipops and handed one to each of them, reminding them, "Don't open your eyes until I tell you to, or it will affect your sister's spellcasting." Zhao Dongqing turned his back when Qiao Linxi said she was going to cast a spell. He didn't expect Qiao Linxi to give him a copy. He just thought that maybe this little girl didn't want to expose her secret to an outsider like him. "Okay, open your eyes." Qiao Linxi had distributed all the candies. The children were very obedient and only opened their eyes after Qiao Linxi gave the order. "Wow, it's really candy, thank you Sister Linxi." Another wave of thanks and another wave of gratitude points. Qiao Linxi quickly took it to draw a lottery. In addition to the wooden board, the system actually gave her a small bucket of 500 milliliters cooking oil. "Mr. Zhao." Zhao Dongqing heard Qiao Linxi's voice, opened his eyes, and saw a little girl holding candy standing in front of him. Chapter 13 With a grateful heart. "Here." Qiao Linxi handed the lollipop to Zhao Dongqing. Zhao Dongqing was surprised again, "Am I included?" "Of course, although you are not from our family, since you plan to go together, you are our friend. I, Qiao Linxi, will not do something like abandoning my friends just because I have something to eat." "Thank you." Zhao Dongqing did not refuse and took the candy. However, he did not eat it, but put it in his arms. Qiao Linxi ignored him. After giving him the candy, she returned to her previous position and lay down. "Sister, I want to sleep with you." Qiao Linhua crawled over and lay down next to Qiao Linxi. "I miss my mother." Qiao Linhua was only 5 years old. She had always slept with her mother before. But when she fled the famine, her mother passed away. She was a little uncomfortable for a while. Hua, did you see that? The brightest star in the sky is my mother." Qiao Linhua stared at the sky with eyes wide open. "Is mother also a fairy? Will she go to heaven after she dies?" The other children also lay on the ground. There was a wide view here, and there were no other refugees, so there was no danger. Everyone fell asleep quickly. As for Zhao Dongqing, he was sitting cross-legged not far away. After seeing that everyone was asleep, he took out the candy that Qiao Linxi had given him, smelled it, carefully peeled off the candy wrapper and put it in his mouth. The sweetness made him frown. It was too sweet, and mixed with another flavor, a bit like the smell of orange. Zhao Dongqing did not continue eating, but wrapped the candy again and kept it carefully. The next day, Qiao Linxi was awakened by the soft voice of the system. "Host, wake up quickly, it's time to sign in. The early bird catches the worm, the sun is shining on your butt. Wake up quickly." Qiao Linxi felt like her head was about to explode from the noise and opened her eyes reluctantly. How could it be noon? It was clearly just getting light. I guess it was only 6 o'clock, which would be the hour of Mao in ancient times. "Beautiful host, please sign in quickly. Another beautiful day has begun." Qiao Linxi was speechless. This broken system also served as an alarm clock. It woke her up every day. Qiao Linxi didn't stand up. She just stared at the still gray sky and signed in her mind. Congratulations to their host for obtaining a suture needle. Qiao Linxi. "Host, don't be angry. Everything in the system can be synthesized. The highest level of the suture needle is beautiful clothes." Qiao Linxi, don't be angry. She should be grateful. Thinking of this, Qiao Linxi sat up, clasped his hands together, and began the Thanksgiving ceremony. "Thank God, we children are like grass in a storm, and we are all strong and alive. Thanks to my late parents for bringing up my 4 younger brothers and sisters to be very obedient. Thanks to my second uncle and second aunt, the 4 brothers and sisters of Qiao Linshan are very obedient. Thanks to my third uncle and third aunt." Qiao Linxi's mumbling words woke up Qiao Linhua, who was beside her. Qiao Linhua sat up and imitated Qiao Linxi and repeated what she said. All the children woke up, and they remembered Qiao Linxi's words that waking up every day was a Thanksgiving ceremony. So they put their hands together and said thank you to God for letting them be alive. After saying that, they all looked at Qiao Linxi and said in unison, "Thank you Sister Linxi for taking care of us." Listening to their words of gratitude, Qiao Linxi could see the gratitude value rising rapidly. It was already over 30 points. Every time a child said a word of thanks, he got 18 points. They also thanked God. Adding Qiao Linxi's own gratitude value, he actually had over 30 points. Zhao Dongqing, who was standing next to them, looked at their strange movements without saying anything. He was a little puzzled. Are these kids so sunny and cheerful? It is rare to be able to have a grateful heart under such harsh conditions. Qiao Linxi ignored Zhao Dongqing. She would not ask an outsider to thank God as the first thing he did when he woke up like them. Everyone is awake, so let's pack up and get ready to go. Qiao Linxi used some gratitude points to sign in, and the system actually gave her 5 kilograms of rice. Sister, I'm hungry. Qiao Linhua hugged Qiao Linxi's arm. I want to eat steamed buns. Now that the sun is not out, walk forward a little more. It will be hot when the sun comes out. Qiao Linxi ignored Qiao Linhua. She took out a comb from the system that she had exchanged for wishing points using 10 points of gratitude and started combing Qiao Linhua's hair. Sister, will we have food to eat when the sun comes out? Qiao Linshu looked at Qiao Linxi with sparkling eyes. Qiao Linxi, your sister is not a deity who can create steamed buns at any time. Sister, you are a fairy, you said it yourself. Qiao Linxi. After casually tidying up, Qiao Linxi counted the number of people, and when everyone was there, he set off. But Qiao Linshu's words made Zhao Dongqing fall into deep thought. Is this girl a fairy? If not, how to explain that she could conjure up steamed buns and water out of thin air? But if so, why did she leave in such a mess? A fairy magic can give her everything. The group had not walked for long when Qiao Linxi spotted a pot in the bushes not far away. Hey, what is this? Qiao Linxi put Qiao Linhua down from her back and walked towards the bushes. She pushed aside the bushes and saw that it was indeed a pot. Although it had several cracks in it, it was still usable. Lin Qi and Lin Shu, both of you come here. Qiao Linxi called her brother over. There's a pot here, let's carry it over, maybe it can be used. Hey. 2 boys ran over and picked up the pot without caring whether it was black or not. Lin Bao, take Lin Ping and Lin Ji to find some dirt to build a stove. You girls go find some firewood and we'll make some porridge. Great. There's porridge. Several children jumped for joy. The feeling of hunger in their bodies disappeared at once and they felt full of energy. They never considered where the rice and water needed to cook the porridge came from. But as an adult, Zhao Dongqing thought about it. He wondered if Qiao Linxi was lying to the children. Qiao Linxi would definitely not do something to deceive a child, because she exchanged all her gratitude points for wishing points. She spent 15 wishing points to exchange for a large bucket of 18 liters of water, which was definitely enough for making porridge. It has to be said that there is strength in numbers. The children are all from the countryside and are very skillful. They quickly built the stove and got the firewood in place. Qiao Linxi then realized that she had nothing to make a fire. Thinking of this, Qiao Linxi looked at Zhao Dongqing, which made Zhao Dongqing feel scared. Girl, I don't have a fire either. I'm not asking you for a lighter. I was just wondering why I didn't hear you say thank you for the steamed buns I gave you last night. Chapter 14, Cooking Porridge, Encountering Danger. Zhao Dongqing pulled the corner of his mouth and said with a little embarrassment, thank you for the steamed buns and candy, young lady. These words of thanks were too far-fetched, so the gratitude point was only 1 point. With 4 points left, Qiao Linxi had to look at his younger brother and sister. Sister Lin Shi, is there really porridge? Qiao Lingji asked. Qiao Linxi, yes. Is there any share for us? Qiao Linxi, yes. Thank you, Sister Lin Shi. Qiao Lingji pulled Qiao Lini and thanked Qiao Linxi. This kind of thanks was much more sincere, so 5 points of gratitude were enough. Qiao Linxi used them to exchange for some wishing points and redeemed them for a lighter. Poochie. Qiao Linxi lit the dry grass with a lighter, brushed the pot with a little water, and started to cook porridge. Her unreserved behavior really surprised everyone. They couldn't imagine how Qiao Linxi could produce such a large bucket of water and white rice out of thin air in her hands. Wow! Sister Lin Shi is so amazing, she really is like a fairy descending to earth. When Lin Shi told me this at first, I didn't believe it. It turns out Sister Lin Shi is really a fairy. Qiao Linbao looked at Qiao Linxi seriously, with admiration in his eyes. Just like that, the fact that Qiao Linxi was a fairy who had descended to earth was confirmed, and even Zhao Dongqing believed so. About half an hour later, or about an hour later, the porridge was ready. Fortunately, they left the city yesterday and the refugees did not go this way. Qiao Linxi and the others could cook the porridge openly. Come here, each of you pour a cup and pass it to your brothers and sisters after you finish drinking it. Without a bowl, Qiao Linxi could only use the 100 milliliters measuring cup to hold the porridge. These children were so sensible that it surprised Qiao Linxi. The four measuring cups were first given to the youngest child in each family. Qiao Linle from my second uncle's family, Qiao Lintang from my third uncle's family, Qiao Lini from my fourth uncle's family, and Qiao Linhua were the first to drink the porridge. This made Qiao Linxi feel very relieved. Although she was also very hungry, she felt full of energy when she saw how sensible her younger brothers and sisters were. She must feed these obedient and sensible brothers and sisters. Everyone was happily drinking porridge, but an accident still happened. Zhao Dongqing was the first to notice movement in the bushes in the distance. He immediately became alert, fearing that something was there. A sound that could break the eardrums came from the bushes, followed by a huge beast that could scare everyone, commonly known as a tiger. The big beast slowly walked out from the bushes, and when it saw Qiao Linxi and the others, it walked towards them with its model steps. A big bug. The older children knew what species the tiger was and were frightened out of their wits. Cat. Qiao Linle, who was only 2 years old, didn't know what it was, but he was happy to see such a big cat-like creature. Girls, you guys step back, I'll find a way to lead it away. Zhao Dongqing was the oldest in the group and the only adult male, so naturally he had to step forward. A tiger this big, let alone Zhao Dongqing, even if all of them came together, they might not be able to subdue it. Qiao Linxi immediately ordered, Qiao Linbao and Qiao Linping come up, Lin Shu and Lin Qi, protect the girls. Don't panic, and don't shout. Looking at the slow-moving tiger, Qiao Linxi always felt that it was not here to hunt. Otherwise, how could a tiger be so slow when it saw its prey? Qiao Linxi walked up to Zhao Dongqing, Qiao Linbao and Qiao Linping also came up, and the four of them formed a line, blocking the children behind them. Girl, when it comes over, hit it on the head with your pot, and then I'll hit it in the heart. We have to control it in the shortest possible time, otherwise it will go crazy and we'll all be in trouble. Zhao Dongqing was already prepared for a fight, but Qiao Linxi's words almost broke his defense. I don't think it's here to hunt. Why don't I ask it what it wants to do? The other three. Qiao Linxi asked the system in her heart, Little Juju, can you understand what it says? The system was so proud when it saw Qiao Linxi begging it, and its tone was a little arrogant. Of course, I am the super invincible, super soft and cute system Little Juju in the whole system world. Of course I can understand the words of such a low-level species. Qiao Linxi was speechless. This system was quite narcissistic. He patiently asked him, what did it say? It didn't say anything. Qiao Linxi. After thinking for a moment, Qiao Linxi said to the tiger who was approaching, Brother Tiger, we didn't mean to disturb you. Don't be angry, we'll leave now. The tiger roared a few times, and the system said it was saying that Qiao Linxi was an idiot. Qiao Linxi. She suspected that the system translation was wrong. How could a tiger call someone an idiot? Qiao Linxi asked again, Brother Hu, are you hungry? We have porridge here, would you like some? As Qiao Linxi spoke, he shouted to the children behind him, all of you get out of the way and let the tiger pass. Sister Lin Shi, we haven't eaten yet. Some children were reluctant to give up their rations. Qiao Linxi said loudly, which is more important, porridge or life? The children then made way. The tiger actually waddled past Qiao Linxi and headed towards the pot of porridge. It lowered its head, sniffed, and walked away. Qiao Linhua didn't drink the porridge because it was too hot. He put it on the ground and waited for it to cool down. But now the tiger walked over and lowered its head to sniff. My porridge, bad kitty, go away. When Qiao Linhua saw her porridge being licked by the tiger, she was so anxious that she wanted to go over and grab it back. Qiao Linqin was so scared that her face turned pale. She quickly pulled Qiao Linhua and coaxed her, Hua, be good, this is not a big cat but a big tiger. Don't go over there, it will eat people. Ayo. The tiger may have understood what Qiao Linqin said and roared at her. This also made Qiao Linxi reassure himself that the tiger had no ill intentions and was probably just passing by. As long as they didn't provoke it, it wouldn't bite anyone. Brother Hu, you don't like porridge? Then come here, I have water. Qiao Linxi stretched out his hand, and there was a little water in his palm. The tiger roared at her, then gave up the porridge that Qiao Linxi had made and walked towards Qiao Linxi. Qiao Linxi slowly backed away, and the tiger slowly moved forward. Qiao Linxi did not intend to lead the tiger away and let the children run away, and she did not intend to deceive the tiger. Sometimes, these animals are more humane than humans. Maybe she gave it water this time. Maybe one day it will repay her in another way. Come here, there is real water here. Chapter 15, Escaping from Danger, the Virtue of Humility. Qiao Linxi slowly retreated and stopped only after she had put a certain distance between herself and Zhao Dongqing and the others. The tiger walked up to her and licked the water in Qiao Linxi's hand with its pink tongue. Although it was itchy when his palms were licked, Qiao Linxi didn't dare to laugh or even breathe. She took out the unfinished water from the system and said, "This is the last water I have. I'll give it all to you." After saying that, Qiao Linxi unscrewed the bottle cap, slowly approached the tiger's mouth, and tried to pour water into its mouth. Don't say, this tiger is really human, half opening its mouth to pour water for Qiao Linxi. Most of the bottle of water was gone. Qiao Linxi shook the bottle and said, "No more." The tiger might not have been full, so it roared, raised its head and charged towards Qiao Linxi, knocking him to the ground, then slowly walked away. This frightened the others so much that they dared not even breathe. Qiao Linxi's heart was in her throat. She was really afraid that the tiger would bite her head off in one bite. No one expected that the tiger would get close to Qiao Linxi's face, just lick it with its tongue, then wag its tail and walk away. Qiao Linxi let out a breath and relaxed. She felt like all the strength in her body had been drained away. Although she looked calm and composed, only she knew that she was scared to death. Sister Linxi, seeing the tiger was gone, Qiao Linbao quickly ran over and pulled Qiao Linxi up. "Are you okay?" "It's okay, we just have no water." Qiao Linxi really has no water left, so if he wants water, he has to collect gratitude points again to exchange them. "It doesn't matter. We'll find water." Qiao Linbao comforted Qiao Linxi instead. Even though such a big tiger appeared, they were able to remain unscathed, and that was all thanks to Qiao Linxi's water. Back at the porridge, Qiao Linxi looked at the cup of porridge on the ground and asked, "Was this porridge licked by the tiger?" Qiao Linxi nodded and said, "I licked it a little." "Then throw it away." "Why? It's not dirty." Qiao Linhua was young and didn't understand, and the same went for Qiao Linqin. This tiger is a carnivore and eats raw food. None of us knows what it has eaten. If it brings germs into the cup, you will get sick after drinking it. Qiao Linhua didn't understand Qiao Linxi's explanation, but Qiao Linxi said he didn't want it, so she could only watch helplessly as a portion of porridge was thrown away. There were only 3 cups, but it did not affect the 18 children from drinking porridge. What surprised Qiao Linxi was that those who got the cup started with the youngest. This action surprised Zhao Dongqing. Every child knew how to be humble. Even in such a famine-stricken age, when they were starving, they still had this virtue. Although Qiao Linxi was the last one to drink the porridge, every child would pass the cup to her and let her drink first. These brothers and sisters are so sensible that Qiao Linxi feels a little distressed. If it weren't for the famine, if their parents hadn't died, they would definitely have had a better development. Now that they were following her, it was still unknown whether she could support them all. Qiao Linxi could only do her best to take care of them. Looking at the porridge in the cup, Qiao Linxi was filled with mixed emotions. In such a famine-stricken era, being able to drink hot porridge was an extremely happy thing. Qiao Linxi used all the 5 kilograms of rice given by the system to make porridge, so the porridge in the cup was a bit thick, but although it was thick, the rice grains were still distinct and not stuck together. Picking up the cup, you can smell the fragrance of the porridge. Qiao Linxi took a sip and found it sweet. Ordinary porridge without sugar is bland. I didn't expect this porridge to have a sweet taste. Could it be because of the famine? Is it because people's sense of taste has been magnified, so everything they eat tastes sweet? That wasn't the case. The system's soft voice sounded again, "System products must be top-notch. The porridge you're drinking is equivalent to the tribute rice used to feed the emperor, so of course it's sweet. And the water is the best of all waters. In addition to containing a large amount of trace elements needed by the human body, it also has a sweet taste." Qiao Linxi, is it that amazing? Of course, this system is the most invincible, soft and cute system in the entire system world. Qiao Linxi. 20 people shared the pot of porridge, and each person could only drink 1 cup. After finishing the porridge, Qiao Linxi took the initiative to wash the pot. She found a handful of hay and brushed off the porridge sticky on the pot. Qiao Linbao used the sickle that Qiao Linxi had exchanged for the lollipop to cut 2 pieces of wood, found some vines to tie up the pot, and carried it on his back. The group packed up and set off again. It was another scorching sun day. Qiao Linxi felt like her throat was about to smoke. She wanted to secretly take out some water to drink several times. But when he saw that Qiao Linla on Qiao Linshan's back was so well behaved, lying on Qiao Linshan's back obediently without crying or making a fuss, Qiao Linxi held back. She, a person who has lived 2 lifetimes, is not as good as a 2-year-old child. When passing by a dead birch forest, Qiao Linxi saw that some of the birch trees grew very straight, so he asked Qiao Linping, the second child in his second uncle's family, a boy, to take Qiao Lingji and several other boys to use sickles to cut some suitable wooden sticks. "Sister Linxi, what are you doing cutting sticks?" Qiao Linping asked as he took a sickle from his backpack. "Cut a few sticks. First, they can be used as crutches. Second, they will give you confidence when you encounter any problems." "Oh." Qiao Linping took a few older boys to chop sticks. Soon they cut down 6 or 7 branches that were slightly thinner than their arms. They used sickles to trim the thin branches, which were quite handy in their hands. Perhaps it was to fulfill Qiao Linxi's words, or perhaps Qiao Linxi triggered some spell, but the wooden sticks they had cut before were soon put to use. Qiao Linxi looked at the map in his hand and said, "We should go through this small forest and the city will be behind us." All the children centered around Qiao Linxi. Whatever she said was the final word, including Zhao Dongqing, who did not offer too many opinions. Just as they reached the center of the woods, Zhao Dongqing keenly sensed something was wrong. "Wait a minute." Zhao Dongqing stretched out his hand to stop Qiao Linxi. "There seems to be movement ahead. Could it be a wolf?" Qiao Linxi's heart tightened and he blurted out. A gray wolf slowly walked out of the grass beside the road ahead. Looking at the big, strong wolf, Qiao Linxi slapped his mouth and said, "What a shame." Several boys holding wooden sticks came forward, and Qiao Linxi did not forget to instruct Qiao Linqin and the others to protect the youngest brothers and sisters and not to panic. "These wolves are social animals. We should not act rashly." Zhao Dongqing's words frightened Qiao Linxi so much that his legs went limp. This meant that more wolves would appear. Chapter 16, Fighting Off the Wolves. "Awoo!" The wolf howled towards the sky, and Qiao Linxi knew it was calling its companions. At this time, the slightly excited voice of the system sounded in Qiao Linxi's mind. "This wolf is saying, 'Friends, come quickly, there are many delicious foods here.'" Listening to the system's excited voice, Qiao Linxi couldn't help but ask, "Are you that excited?" "Really? Am I excited?" "Host, please don't wrongly accuse Xiao Zhujiu. Are there any hunting bands or bows and arrows? How many wish points are required to exchange them?" Qiao Linxi asked the most important question. "Yes, the hunting ban is a high-level item, and the host has not yet enabled the exchange function. There are bows and arrows, but the host cannot exchange them for weapons at the moment." Qiao Linxi. Just as Qiao Linxi was stunned, 3 more wolves came out from the bushes. The grass behind them was still moving, which meant there were more wolves behind them. Qiao Linxi wanted to cry but had no tears. She didn't know if these dozen kids were enough to fill the teeth of these wolves. After 2 more wolves came out, they stopped when they were only some distance away from Qiao Linxi and the others, looking at the wolf that appeared first. That wolf was bigger than the others, and its fur was a bit whiter. It should be the leader of the pack. The other wolves seemed to be waiting for orders from the leader. As long as the leader wolf gives the order, they will definitely pounce on Qiao Linxi and the other children and tear them to pieces. "Girl, we must capture the leader first. As long as we subdue this leader wolf, the other wolves will flee without a fight." As he spoke, Zhao Dongqing lifted up his clothes and took out a soft sword from his waist. "Oh tilde tilde." The sword suddenly straightened up, which scared Qiao Linxi. It turned out that in ancient times there really were such soft swords that could be worn on the waist. It looked so cool. Or, I'll ask them what they want to do. It would be great if we could resolve this group of wolves peacefully. Qiao Linxi asked Zhao Dongqing tentatively. From the moment Zhao Dongqing took out the sword, Qiao Linxi knew that he was not an ordinary person. Ordinary farmers would not wear swords, let alone a soft sword that can be worn on their waist. This kind of sword is more advanced than the ordinary sword that can only be held in the hand, and the cost is also high. It is equivalent to the Hermes of luggage and the Dior of perfume. Zhao Dongqing looked at Qiao Linxi with some surprise. He really couldn't understand how this girl who was only as tall as his shoulder could have such strange thoughts. Talking to a hungry wolf? It was so mysterious. He wondered if Qiao Linxi had a mental problem. Qiao Linxi asked the system in her mind if she could communicate with the wolf, but the system only replied, "Dear host, do you think anyone would talk to their food?" Qiao Linxi. But don't worry, host. I have you, Xiao Jujiu. I am just a koi fish. I will be fine. Qiao Linxi, I don't believe you at all. Host, didn't you notice that you had surprisingly strong strength when you swung the frying pan to hit someone? That's my little Juju's koi function. Seeing that the system was unreliable, Qiao Linxi had no choice but to take out his own frying pan, hoping to knock down the wolf in one go. The leader wolf roared towards the sky again, which was the horn of attack. Qiao Linxi also became nervous. She held the frying pan tightly in her hand and stared at the leader wolf. The wolves took a few slow steps towards them and then started running. The leader wolf ran the fastest and was in the middle position, aiming at Qiao Linping, who was next to Qiao Linxi. A woo! After a roar, the wolf came in front of Qiao Linping. The wooden stick in his hand was no match for the wolf that was bigger than him and was broken in one blow. Seeing that the sharp claws of the wolf were about to hit Qiao Linping, Qiao Linxi's frying pan appeared in time to block the claws for Qiao Linping. The wolf was very strong and almost overwhelmed Qiao Linxi. It was Zhao Dongqing who kicked it and it didn't pounce on Qiao Linxi. But he was so distracted that he had no time to take care of himself and his shoulder was scratched. Mr. Zhao. Qiao Linxi staggered a few steps back and just happened to see the wolf scratching Zhao Dongqing, and couldn't help but shouting. It seemed that the wolves also knew that they had to capture the leader first. After they saw who was the most powerful among the group, they gave up on the other boys and directed all their attacking power towards Qiao Linxi and Zhao Dongqing. Zhao Dongqing was an adult man after all, and he had a sword, so it wasn't very hard for him to fight. Qiao Linxi only had a frying pan that didn't do much damage. Even if she was stronger, could she be stronger than the hungry wolf? Soon, Qiao Linxi was in a weak position, and Zhao Dongqing was too busy to help Qiao Linxi. These wolves seemed to be possessed by demons, and even though they were stabbed with swords and covered in wounds, they still did not retreat. The leader wolf was much larger and stronger than the others. When it saw Zhao Dongqing being entangled by other wolves, it stared at Qiao Linxi. It used its hind legs to continue pouncing towards Qiao Linxi. Qiao Linxi had just been knocked down by other wolves and was unable to stand up for a while. The frying pan in her hand was also useless, so she could only watch the huge wolf pounce on her. At that moment, Qiao Linxi seemed to see a time tunnel, so the scene when she first came here, and saw the scene of her previous life wearing professional attire and working in the workplace. The wolf's head was getting closer and bigger, and Qiao Linxi felt that his neck had been pierced by its sharp teeth. Boom. After a series of sounds, Qiao Linxi's eyes went dark and she could not see anything. She blinked her eyes. Could it be that she was dead? Is death that quick? Qiao Linxi asked himself this question. Crack. The sound of something shattering brought Qiao Linxi back to her senses. Her vision slowly became clear. She was not dead. She saw a half-grown boy holding a piece of wood with a pot tied to it. The pot had been broken, revealing a ferocious wolf's head. This is Qiao Linbao, who used the pot on his back to block the attack of the wolf leader. At that moment, Qiao Linxi looked at his small figure and felt that he was extremely tall. This is the boy of their old Qiao family, the backbone of the old Qiao family, and a talented person with great potential. If she can survive, she will definitely train Qiao Linbao well. The support of the Qiao family fell on him. Sister Lin Shi. Qiao Linbao held the wood in both hands and resisted the wolf's force. He turned around and smiled at Qiao Linxi. The wolf was stuck in the pot. Seeing that it was still some distance away from Qiao Linping, it exerted force again, broke the pot, and bit Qiao Linping's neck directly. At this critical moment, a dark shadow rushed out from the bushes behind Qiao Linxi and the others. Chapter 17, Possession by the Celestial Koi. The black shadow was moving very fast, and its appearance made people feel as if the earth was shaking. Awoo, the sound sounded familiar, but Qiao Linxi was not sure if it was the big beast they encountered. The tiger is very big, and the wolf, which seemed strong before, looked small in front of the tiger. The wolf leader's teeth were touching Qiao Linxi's neck, but the tiger pushed it away. The tiger is the king of beasts. Although there is only one of them, it can still fight these wolves with ease. In addition, these wolves were more or less injured by Qiao Linxi and Zhao Dongqing, so their fighting power was greatly reduced, and they were soon bitten by the tigers and forced to retreat. After the leader wolf was knocked away by the tiger, it flew out directly. After falling to the ground, the tiger pounced on it and bit it, biting off its front leg. It cried out in pain, and the wolves tried to come over to save its head, but they were undoubtedly sending the rabbit into the tiger's mouth. Soon, the leader wolf gave the signal to retreat, and all the wolves ran to the bushes and disappeared in a panic. All that was left were bloodstains, the wolf's front legs, and a group of children trembling with fear. After the wolves left, Qiao Linxi finally had time to look at her younger brothers and sisters behind her. She discovered that these children were miraculously not injured, but were just very scared. Even the boys who followed her to fight off the wolves were not injured. The only one who was injured was Zhao Dongqing. Could it be that what the system said was true? Qiao Linxi was possessed by a koi fish. Qiao Linxi was very open-minded. Being safe and sound in this situation was the greatest luck. Of course. How could I, little Juju, let my host die in the mouth of a wolf? Little Juju knows how many hardships the host will experience in his life and what the final outcome will be. Qiao Linxi, predicting the future. Can you tell me about it? System, no, this is not right. Host, just work hard and leave the rest to fate. Qiao Linxi. Isn't she working hard enough? Mr. Zhao, are you okay? Qiao Linxi saw that Zhao Dongqing's navy blue clothes had been torn by the wolf, revealing several deep blood marks. Zhao Dongqing shook his head and put his sword back on his waist. It's just a minor injury, nothing serious. Are you all okay? Zhao Dongqing glanced at the group of children. Miraculously, no one was injured. Even the one who rushed to the front with a stick was not injured. Everything is fine. Qiao Linxi shook his head. Perhaps because it felt that it was being ignored, the tiger roared at Qiao Linxi, then ran a few steps and knocked Qiao Linxi to the ground. This looks just like a pet at home acting coquettishly to its owner. Qiao Linxi fell face first onto the ground, still in a daze. She got up and looked at everyone. Who pushed me? Everyone pointed at the big tiger. Qiao Linxi's face changed. How could she forget about this big tiger? It was unknown whether Qiao Linxi was frightened by the tiger's bared teeth or knelt down on purpose. Anyway, she knelt in front of the tiger and said, "Brother Tiger, I know you can understand me. Thank you for helping me drive away the wolf." After saying that, Qiao Linxi kowtowed several times seriously. The tiger was still roaring at her, and Qiao Linxi did not ask the system what the tiger said. The system was unreliable anyway. The tiger roared at Qiao Linxi and then ran away. Just when Qiao Linxi was about to get up and check on the other children, the tiger appeared again with 2 cute tiger cubs in its mouth. Qiao Linxi. Don't let it be what she thinks. The tiger placed the 2 cubs in front of Qiao Linxi, roared at her, and then stretched out its tongue to lick its own cubs. You gave them to me? Qiao Linxi asked tentatively. The tiger roared, but Qiao Linxi didn't understand what it meant. She thought that she had fed the tiger before, and the tiger might want her to feed its cubs. You want me to feed them? This time, Tiger's voice was a little softer, probably because he agreed with Qiao Linxi's words. There was water in Qiao Linxi's system, but she saw that the tiger cub's eyes hadn't opened yet, so it must have been born not long ago. Tigers are mammals like humans, and they need to drink milk. Newborn cubs must also drink milk, and water is definitely not an option. But Qiao Linxi didn't have milk, so he asked if there was any milk in the system all. Yes, a 500 milliliters bottle of milk requires 6 wish points. 6 wish points equal 30 gratitude points. Qiao Linxi's gratitude points were not enough, so she could only look at Tiger sincerely and said, "Thank you, Brother Tiger, for saving us." Ding! Gratitude value +1. Qiao Linxi looked at his younger brothers and sisters and asked them to thank the tiger as well, and he collected 18 gratitude points. Seeing that the gratitude points were still short, the system told Qiao Linxi that he could sell the things in the system and get the corresponding wish points. In addition to the unused water, there are also steamed buns in the system. There were 8 last night, 7 of which were eaten and 1 was left. 12 were produced in the morning and lunch boxes, a total of 13 steamed buns. The system told Qiao Linxi that selling a steamed bun could earn him a wish value, which confirmed Qiao Linxi's idea that a wish value was equivalent to $1. In her world, a steamed bun costs $1. Qiao Linxi sold all 13 steamed buns and received 13 wish points. Together with the previous 19 points, she had a total of 32 wish points, which could be exchanged for 5 bottles of milk. With 2 points left, she exchanged them for 2 500 milliliters bottles of water. Mum, come here. Qiao Linxi squatted in front of the tiger cub and took out a 500 milliliters bottle of milk from his sleeve. It's strange to say that these things are calculated according to the value of Qiao Linxi's world, but the packaging is the same as this era. The 500 milliliters milk was served in a water jug from that era. Qiao Linxi carefully picked up a tiger cub and held it in his arms. The tiger looked at Qiao Linxi's actions and roared a few times, as if to say, "If you dare to hurt my child, I will eat you." The little tiger cub was really cute, just like a kitten. Qiao Linxi dripped milk into the tiger cub's mouth little by little. The little tiger cub smacked its lips a few times, then took the initiative to open its mouth to let Qiao Linxi pour the milk. Qiao Linxi didn't pour too much at a time, just a small sip, because she was afraid that the tiger cub would choke and the big tiger would get angry. Seeing the tiger cub's belly slowly swelling up, Qiao Linxi stopped and picked up another one to feed it. After feeding both of them, she also rubbed the tiger cub's round bellies attentively. Seeing that its cubs were well fed, the tiger's voice softened a lot and it roared at Qiao Linxi a few times. Qiao Linxi's system unexpectedly received dozens of gratitude points. Don't be surprised, host. The gratitude of animals is higher than that of humans. It is a great blessing to be able to make animals grateful to you. Indeed, if an animal can be grateful, it means that the person has given his true heart. Only sincerity can be exchanged for sincerity. Zhao Dongqing looked at Qiao Linxi's actions and felt a little surprised. He seemed to know where this girl got all the food from. Chapter 18 System Upgrade. Not only did Zhao Dongqing notice it, even the children noticed that Qiao Linxi was abnormal. Every time before something appeared, she would say some words of gratitude. Could it be that these things were created by words of gratitude? Qiao Linxi had no idea that her secret had been discovered by others. She stroked the tiger cub gently. The tiger might have been following them with the cub, so it appeared so promptly when it saw them in danger. Okay, your cub's milk is done. Qiao Linxi handed the 2 cubs to the tiger, but the tiger licked them affectionately, then butted Qiao Linxi's waist with its head and ran away. Qiao Linxi. Hey, brother tiger, sister tiger, you can't rely on me. I can't raise you. Qiao Linxi shouted at the tiger's back, but the only response he got was the swaying grass. I'm really screwed. Qiao Linxi suddenly felt that the tiger cub in her arms was no longer cute. Instead, it was very hot. Looking at Qiao Linxi jumping up and down in anger, Zhao Dongqing thought she was so cute. Girl, that tiger should be a male tiger. It has shown great trust in you by handing the cub to you. It may have gone back to take care of the tigress. When the tigress recovers, they will come to find you. It has to take care of its wife and can't give its cubs to me. How can I take care of them? Qiao Linxi wanted to throw the tiger cub away, but he couldn't bear to do it. If he left the tiger cub here, it would definitely become food for other animals in less than half an hour. Animals have a magical power. No matter where their loved ones are, they can always sense them. Despite Zhao Dongqing's explanation, Qiao Linxi still looked unwilling. It was not enough for her to take care of 18 brothers and sisters, she also had to raise 2 tiger cubs. What sin had she committed? Although he was reluctant, Qiao Linxi still found a backpack to put the tiger cubs in, and put a lot of hay in the backpack to prevent them from getting hurt. Then he covered them with a piece of tattered clothes, just like serving his ancestors. Now that it was safe, Qiao Linxi asked his younger brothers and sisters to come over. When they saw Qiao Linxi asking all the children to form a circle, they knew that there would be something to eat. Tiger was fed 2 of the 6 bottles of milk, and there were 4 bottles left. Qiao Linxi took out 2 bottles, poured them into a measuring cup, and let each person take a small sip. Looking at this army of children, Qiao Linxi felt like crying but had no tears. 18 mouths meant a lot of food. Fortunately, every child who got the milk thanked Qiao Linxi, and Qiao Linxi gained another wave of gratitude points. She took it to the lottery, and the system was very powerful, directly giving her a level 3 lunch box. Their host's level has been upgraded to level 3, so the level of the wooden board is directly equal to that of a level 3 lunch box. After having 2 level 3 lunch boxes, Qiao Linxi decisively upgraded them to level 4 lunch boxes. A level 4 lunch box contains 8 steamed buns at a time, 3 times a day, which means 24 steamed buns a day. This became Qiao Linxi's only comfort. Seeing that the children were not injured, Qiao Linxi told them to pack up and start their journey, trying to reach the next city before dark. Qiao Linxi carried Qiao Linhua on his back, while Qiao Linxi and Qiao Linxiu took turns carrying the 2 tiger cubs. After hurrying for a while, we finally arrived at the next city before dark. The refugees were all staying in the previous city, so it was still very quiet here. Stop. Qiao Linxi and his companions wanted to enter the city, but were stopped by the officials guarding the city. Sir, can't I go in? Qiao Linxi did not make a fuss with the officer, but just asked rationally. You need to pay an entry fee to enter the city, 5 cents per person. Qiao Linxi was puzzled. I have to pay to enter the city. There are more and more refugees now. If we let everyone in, won't the city be in chaos? Qiao Linxi and the others had no money, and she didn't have to go in. She just saw that Zhao Dongqing looked pale and thought he might be seriously injured, so she wanted to go into the city to see a doctor. I'll pay for them. Zhao Dongqing took out a silver lump from his arms and put it in the officer's hand. The officer shook it and asked the people behind him to put away the spear. Wait, Qiao Linxi stopped his younger brothers and sisters behind him, took the money from the officer and put it in Zhao Dongqing's hand. Mr. Zhao, we won't go in. Don't waste money. You can go in alone. Zhao Dongqing, it's okay, we can take care of each other. Qiao Linxi shook her head. No, if so many of us go in, we will just be licked by the people inside. It's fine for you to go in alone. You have money and ability, so you will definitely not starve. Let's go around the city. Sister, aren't we going in? Qiao Linxi asked Qiao Linxi quietly while carrying the tiger cub on his back. No, let Mr. Zhao go in alone. Let's not waste his money. After saying that, Qiao Linxi looked at Zhao Dongqing and said, Mr. Zhao, let's say goodbye now and see you again if we are lucky. Zhao Dongqing looked at Qiao Linxi, who was walking away with her younger brother and sister, and was a little puzzled. Why did she suddenly not go into the city? After walking for a while, Qiao Linxi finally responded to Qiao Linxi, there are too many of us, and we are carrying a tiger cub. What if someone sees the cub and snatches it away when we enter the city? If the big tiger comes looking for the cub and can't find it, do you think it will eat us in anger? No way. Qiao Linxi was frightened. Sister, what if we can't raise the tiger cub? Asked Qiao Linxiu. Linxiu, no matter what happened, we just need to do it with a clear conscience. If we really can't raise the tiger cub, there is no need for us to feel guilty. I think the tiger is very human and will not blame us. But it's different if we are kidnapped in the city, so we have to do our best to take care of the tiger cub. Oh. Qiao Linxiu nodded, as if he understood what Qiao Linxi said. The group walked around the city for a long time, until the sky was full of stars, and then they found a suitable place to stay, which was a dilapidated house. Are you all hungry? Qiao Linxi and her friends had only some porridge and milk the whole day, and everyone was starving. Yeah. Sis, we're all hungry. Qiao Linxi asked the children to sit in a circle, and this became a fixed ritual before they eat. I think you are so smart that you must have guessed where my things came from. Sister Linxi, did you create your food by using words of thanks? Qiao Linbao asked. As expected, these kids are very smart, how could they not guess it? Qiao Linxi nodded, that's right, but it's not the words of gratitude that made it happen. Instead, these words of gratitude are the source of my magic power. Only with magic power can I make things happen. I hope you can keep it a secret for me. Sister Linxi, is this the reason you're not going with Mr. Zhao? Are you worried that he'll know our secret and expose it? Chapter 19 Another Incident. You can say that. After all, he is an outsider. You can only know his face but not his heart. And don't you find that he has something that ordinary people don't have? Seeing the children's confusion, Qiao Linxi patted his forehead and said, he has a sword and silver. In such a famine era, anyone who still has silver is not an ordinary person. We are just a group of children, so it's better not to get involved with him too much. Sister, whatever you say is what it is. I'm so hungry. Is there anything to eat? Qiao Linhua put his arms around Qiao Linxi's neck and asked in a low voice. Yes, you forgot that I am a fairy. Qiao Linxi scratched Qiao Linhua's nose lovingly. But there's very little, just a little for each person. The lunchbox has already produced 8 steamed buns, plus the 2 bottles of milk left over, and some water, which are barely enough to fill my stomach. There were 8 steamed buns shared by 19 people. Each person could only eat 1/3 of it and then drink 2 sips of milk, so the stomach didn't feel so uncomfortable. There were also some snacks like potato chips, and Qiao Linxi took them all out and divided them up. Now that they had food to eat, the children thanked Qiao Linxi again, and their gratitude levels returned. After finishing their meal, Qiao Linxi hugged Qiao Linhua and lay on the haystack, looking up at the broken roof. Soon, the originally dark night sky was filled with stars. Sister, do you think Mother has really turned into a star? Can she see us? Qiao Linhua asked Qiao Linxi in a childish voice, which star is Mother? Qiao Linxi patted Qiao Linhua's arm and said, the brightest one you think is Mother. Mother will always be watching us from the sky, so we must work hard to survive. Sister Linxi, will our parents also turn into stars? Qiao Linxi, yes, all people will turn into stars after they die. No wonder there are so many stars in the sky, it turns out they were all transformed from humans. A dozen children had just eaten. Although they were not full, their stomachs did not feel so uncomfortable anymore. They were all chattering in whispers. Although they were just whispers, there were more than a dozen children mixed together and it was very noisy, giving Qiao Linxi a headache. Shut up and go to sleep. As soon as Qiao Linxi spoke, all the children shut up. Qiao Linxi sighed again, wondering what sin she had committed. In her previous life, she was a non-marriageist, but in the new world, she had to raise 18 children. It's not that she doesn't like children. In her previous life, no matter how her parents urged her to get married, she was indifferent. She didn't want to fall into the kind of life that all married women were living. There are endless dishes to wash, endless clothes to wash, endless vegetables to buy, and children to take care of. It would be fine if their husband was more understanding, but most men think that women do nothing when they stay at home. Women are called hypocritical if they complain a few words. Married women do everything at home except making money, but in the eyes of men, these things are not as important as making money. Qiao Linxi is not confident that she can find a man who will respect her, understand her and tolerate her, so she has never gotten married. Why? A breeze blew by, and Qiao Linxi smelled a bloody smell. She frowned slightly. She didn't see anyone injured just now, so where did the bloody smell come from? In order to confirm whether it was the smell of blood, Qiao Linxi sniffed hard and found that there was indeed a smell of blood. Qiao Linxi asked, who of you is injured? No, Lin Xiang and I are not injured. Qiao Linxi, no. No. Qiao Linxi, Lin Shan. Qiao Linshan was stunned, it's not me, Sister Lin Shi. No. Qiao Linxi was puzzled. Where did the bloody smell come from? If there is anything, you must tell me immediately. Got it. The children replied in unison, got it, Sister Lin Shi. Let's all go to sleep. As soon as Qiao Linxi finished speaking, she felt something falling from the top of her head. Bang! After a loud thud, a person was found lying next to Qiao Linxi. What's wrong? The other children were also frightened, but it was so dark that they couldn't see anything. Don't make any noise. Be quiet. Qiao Linxi let go of Qiao Linhua, took out a lighter from the system, turned it on, and then shone it on the things next to her. Qiao Linxi was frightened by the bloody face and could not help but scream. She was born in a peaceful era and had never seen such a scene. Sister Lin Shi, what's wrong? When the other children heard her cry, they all got up and walked towards her in the dark. Oh, it's okay, it's just a dead cat. Let's go and find another place to rest. Dead cat on the ground, girl, are you polite? Sister, why do I look like a human? Qiao Linxin was close to Qiao Linxi, and she looked at the ground in the dim light and said, it's just a big dead cat. Let's go quickly. This kind of cat is the most unlucky. Qiao Linxi pulled Qiao Linhua and was about to leave. The person lying on the ground also made a sound at this time. Sister, it's just a person. No, hurry up. Qiao Linxi wanted to cry but had no tears. What kind of luck was this? She had just avoided Zhao Dongqing and met this person again. Sister, look at how badly he's injured. It would be bad if we just ignore him, right? Qiao Linxi saw the person on the ground clearly and felt a little reluctant to watch him die without helping him. You know he's injured like this, maybe he's a bad guy, or there are people chasing him nearby. It's dangerous for us kids to get involved with him. Let's go. Seeing Qiao Linxi standing there motionless, Qiao Linxi pushed her anxiously. The group of children then listened to Qiao Linxi's words and walked out. They also felt that what Qiao Linxi said made sense. Miss Linxi. I am a human being, alive, not a dead cat. The man on the ground began to speak. Perhaps because he was too badly injured, his voice was very weak, but this could not cover up his magnetic voice. As soon as he opened his mouth, Qiao Linxi's heart began to tremble. This man must have heard what they said and was saying in a disguised way that he knew her secret. Whether it's a human or a cat has nothing to do with me. Qiao Linxi was about to leave with Qiao Linxi and Qiao Linhua, but the man grabbed her feet. Big brother, sir, good man, please be kind and let us go. We will just pretend we didn't see you, okay? Qiao Linxi just wanted to leave quickly, but the hands under his feet showed no sign of letting go. My dear, men and women should not touch each other. Please spare my life. We are all children and don't want to be involved in the affairs of you adults. Miss Linxi, isn't it inappropriate for you to watch someone die without helping him? Qiao Linxi, no, I didn't see anyone dying, so just assume that I saw someone dying without helping. Can you please let me go, man? Miss Linxi, could you give me something to eat? I would be very grateful. Chapter 20 Destined. No food, no food. Qiao Linxi was about to cry. Why did this guy still rely on her? Ms. Linxi, if you don't have anything to eat, could you at least give me some saliva? The man shamelessly begged Qiao Linxi again. In such a famine-stricken era, the most lacking things are food and water, but this little girl was able to take out 7 or 8 steamed buns and some water. She must not be an ordinary person. Although I don't believe she is a fairy, she must be someone with great powers. When life is threatened, face is nothing but a cloud, and the most important thing is to stay alive. What's the point of saying a real man will not bow down for a few pieces of silver? It's all bullshit. You've already lost your life, what's the point of having such courage? Are you going to show off in front of the king of hell? No, if you don't let go, don't blame me for being rude. Qiao Linxi was about to take out the frying pan to beat the man, but the man spoke again. Saving a life is better than building a 7-story pagoda. Please save me, girl. The deep and attractive voice was so nice to hear, and with a pleading tone, Qiao Linxi simply couldn't resist it. My dear host, saving a life is better than building a 7-story pagoda. That soft and cute voice sounded in Qiao Linxi's mind again. What things and people you will meet in your life have already been determined and cannot be changed. If you want to change these things, you have to pay a price. Qiao Linxi, are you saying that meeting this person is also my destiny? If I don't care about him, I will suffer retribution? Oh, Xiao Jujuju is just reminding the host. As for what to do, it's up to their host to decide. Qiao Linxi was in a dilemma. Should he take care of this person? Looking at his condition, he would not live long without anyone taking care of him. But since he could be hurt like this, it meant that he had an enemy. If she took care of him, would these children be able to withstand the revenge of their enemies? But if she doesn't care, will she be able to bear the retribution? She is now in a dilemma. She can neither intervene nor ignore it. In short, this person has brought her nothing but disaster, but she still has to intervene. Miss Linxi, I am not a bad person. If you save me today, I will protect you for the rest of your life. If you stand aside and watch. What will you do if I stand aside and watch? Man, it doesn't matter. I won't live much longer anyway. Qiao Linxi. Really? Qiao Linxi stamped her feet in anger. She was so unlucky that she had to come to such a hellish place. Not only did she have to take her 18 brothers and sisters to escape the famine, but she also had to take 2 tiger cubs with her. Now there was another seriously injured person. God thinks too highly of her, putting such a heavy burden on her shoulders. When heaven is about to confer a great responsibility on a man, it will first test his mind and will, exhaust his muscles and bones, starve his body, deprive him of all want, and make his plans frustrated. This is to stimulate his heart and harden his nature, and to enable him to do what he was not capable of before. Qiao Linxi, what a bullshit responsibility. She just wants to live a good life. Is it so difficult? Miss Linxi, the man took out a purse from his arms and handed it to Qiao Linxi. This is the most valuable thing I have. This is your reward for saving me. Qiao Linxi didn't want to take the call, but she had to save the person. She was not a living bodhisattva and was not that noble. Since she was offered the money, she would take the call. As for whether she could save the person, that was up to God. I don't know any medical skills, so I may not be able to save you, but I can guarantee that as long as I have a bite to eat, I will squeeze out a portion from my teeth to give you one. As for whether you can survive, I won't make any guarantees for you. The man smiled slightly. Thank you for your help. After saying this, he tilted his head and fainted. Although he was unconscious, his hands were still tightly holding Qiao Linxi's ankles. This man's hands were too big. Qiao Linxi's ankle in his hands felt like an ordinary adult holding the wrist of a 2-year-old child. The difference was too big. Qiao Linxi sighed, squatted down, reached out and poked the man, but he didn't respond. She took some water from the system, pinched the man's mouth open, and dripped a few drops in. No matter what time, human instinct will not disappear. Although this man was in a coma, when Qiao Linxi dripped water into his mouth still moved. After feeding him water, Qiao Linxi looked at the man's bloody face in the starlight, and Qiao Linxi had a headache again. What should she do to make him live longer? She is not a doctor and she doesn't have any special abilities. She is just an ordinary little girl and she doesn't have any anti-inflammatory drugs. There was very little water left now, and Qiao Linxi was reluctant to use it to clean the man's wound. But Qiao Linxi still wanted to see where the man was injured and whether he could be bandaged, so she asked Qiao Linxi to help. Sister, is it wrong for us to take off people's clothes? Qiao Linxi looked at Qiao Linxi's actions, a little hesitant. As Qiao Linxi reached out and groped the man's body, she said, "Don't be so dirty, little kid. I'm not stripping him of his clothes. I'm checking where he's injured to see if I can bandage him. Don't get bogged down in those rules and regulations, like sex is not allowed. It depends on the situation, okay? Sister Linxi, what can I do?" Qiao Linshan handed Qiao Linler to Qiao Linping and walked over. "Oh, find some firewood and I'll make a torch so that we can't see anything in the dark." Qiao Linshan found some dry firewood, Qiao Linxi wrapped it in rags, poured some cooking oil on it and lit it, and the dark room was suddenly lit. Only then did Qiao Linxi see clearly the appearance of the person lying on the ground. His face was indeed a bloody mess. She hesitated for a long time, but still felt that she should wipe her face. She took out some water, wet the man's clothes and then wiped his face. As for why she used men's clothes, it was because her clothes were made of coarse linen, and although the man's clothes were all black, Qiao Linxi could still see that the texture of the clothes was very good. It should be high-quality silk and it felt very soft. After wiping the man's face clean, Qiao Linxi was stunned. This man was so handsome. Sister Linxi, he is so handsome, as if he walked out of a painting. Qiao Linshan was also surprised as she looked at the bloodless man lying on the ground. I think so too. He's better looking than the previous Mr. Zhao. Qiao Linxi seconded. Qiao Linxi nodded, and she also agreed with Qiao Linshan's words. Even though she had seen all kinds of handsome men in the civilized era, she still couldn't deny that the man in front of her, who came from unknown backgrounds and could only bring her disaster, was the most handsome. All the words that describe a good-looking man can be used to describe him, without being exaggerated. Since you are so beautiful, I will reluctantly apply the medicine to you. Chapter 21, Openly Molesting. Qiao Linxi didn't have any medicine, so she could only use her gratitude points to exchange for wish points, and then she got some iodine and gauze. Maybe the system saw that Qiao Linxi was in a difficult situation, so it only exchanged her for what she wanted with 3 wish points. After getting the things, Qiao Linxi looked at the man. He didn't know where he was injured, and he couldn't take off all his clothes, so he could only reach out and touch. Sister. Qiao Linshan, who was standing next to him, looked at Qiao Linxi's face which was slowly turning red, and asked in confusion, "What happened? Is he seriously injured?" Qiao Linxi withdrew her hand with a little embarrassment. Just now, she reached out to check the man's injuries, but she felt his chest as hard as iron and the legendary 8-pack abs. Her face began to heat up. This was the first time Qiao Linxi had done such a blatant act of taking advantage of someone. The wound is on his waist. I'll disinfect it and bandage it. Qiao Linxi had never done such a thing before, but when the time came, she was still able to do it well. She disinfected and bandaged the wound, and then put on the man's clothes. Her back was already wet. It's finally healed. Qiao Linxi was so tired that he lay on the haystack with his arms and legs spread out. This kind of man was the typical type who looked thin when dressed but had flesh when undressed. He looked small, but he was very heavy. Sister, do you think he will die? Qiao Linshan glanced at the man next to her and asked worriedly. Just die, Qiao Linxi said nonchalantly, it's not like you haven't seen dead people before. Can. Go to sleep. We have to travel tomorrow. We don't know what will happen next. When thinking of this, Qiao Linxi felt a little melancholy. What the future would be like and how far they could go was still unknown. Their whole night was silent. The man stared at the broken roof. He actually survived the whole night. Last night he had been hiding on a hidden beam on the roof, but because of his severe injuries, he could hardly hide anymore. Then he saw this group of children chattering and walking in. What surprised him was yet to come. They sat in a circle, and the oldest girl said something he couldn't understand. Then steamed buns appeared in the pot, and there was even colostrum. This gave him hope of survival. In such a famine-stricken time, a group of children still had food left, which meant they were definitely not ordinary people. This is why he shamelessly held onto the girl. He didn't want to die here. He also didn't expect that the girl would smell the blood on him. Although he was injured, he had been treated once. If she didn't have a sensitive sense of smell, she wouldn't have been able to smell it. Hey! The man was distracted when he heard a sigh. It was the voice of the girl named Linxi. It was another day of being woken up by the system. Qiao Linxi opened his eyes helplessly and looked at the dim sky. After signing in, he woke up his 18 brothers and sisters one by one and started the daily Thanksgiving ceremony. Thank God, the 19 of us brothers and sisters have spent another night safely. Each child repeated what Qiao Linxi said, and Qiao Linxi collected 19 points of gratitude. With such a loud noise, the man stopped pretending to sleep, opened his eyes, and sat up with difficulty. Thank you for saving my life, young lady. This kind of great favor would give more gratitude points, directly 20 points of gratitude points. This made Qiao Linxi feel more balanced. I'm glad you're okay. It's worth my time to tossing and turning for so long last night. Qiao Linxi looked at the man's face, which could be described as enchanting, and her ears suddenly turned red. The man looked at Qiao Linxi's cute little expression and thought of last night. Although he was unconscious, he could still feel a soft hand touching his body, under the pretext of checking his wounds. He kind of suspected that the girl was taking advantage of him, but he had no evidence. Thank you, young lady. If it weren't for you, I might have been seduced by the black and white impermanence last night. The man clasped his fists towards Qiao Linxi and said, My last name is Xiao, and I am the 6th child in my family. You can just call me Xiao Liu, young lady. Xiao Liu. Qiao Linxi muttered, It sounds like a eunuch's name, Xiao Liuzi. If the girl is happy, you can call her that. Qiao Linxi curled her lips. This man was very smooth talking. Seeing that everyone was awake, Qiao Linxi looked at the lunchbox in the system and found that the level 4 lunchbox had produced 8 steamed buns. There were 8 steamed buns to be shared among 20 people. Qiao Linxi really felt like crying but had no tears. He exchanged his gratitude points for some water and distributed it equally to everyone. That was the end of the breakfast. Oh, I forgot there are tiger cubs. These 2 cubs need milk. I really found 2 living ancestors for myself. Seeing the 2 tiger cubs, Xiao Liu was surprised again that this girl actually raised tigers. After feeding the tiger cub, they could finally set off, but looking at Xiao Liu sitting on the ground, Qiao Linxi was in trouble again. Mr. Xiao Liu, can you walk on your own? Xiao Liu looked at his legs and shook his head, I'm afraid not. Qiao Linxi scratched her head. Last night she was only focused on checking Xiao Liu's upper body and had no time to look at his legs. Let me see. As Qiao Linxi spoke, he squatted down and lifted up Xiao Liu's robe, and so that there was indeed something sticky on his right leg, and there was a very pungent smell of blood. You probably have a broken bone. I'll find something to fix it for you. If Qiao Linxi's memory was correct, a fracture should be treated by resetting the bone and fixing it with something to prevent the broken bone from moving. But Qiao Linxi didn't study medicine after all, so he had no idea about bone repositioning and could only rely on his luck. Well, I'm not a medical student. Mr. Xiao Liu, bear with me. I'll use something to fix your bones. After struggling for nearly half an hour, Qiao Linxi finally managed to fix Xiao Liu's legs. But he couldn't walk like this, so he had to find something to push him, which made Qiao Linxi feel troubled again. As soon as he walked out of the shabby house, Qiao Linxi saw a cart. It was really like a koi fish possessed him. After moving Xiao Liu onto the cart, Qiao Linxi pushed him by herself. After walking a few steps, she thought of another question. Xiao Liu must have an enemy. If he went out like this, if he was recognized by his enemy, all of them would be in trouble. Looking at Xiao Liu's handsome features, Qiao Linxi suddenly had an idea. After parking the car, she took out the makeup bag she got when she signed in the morning and began to disguise Xiao Liu. Let your hair loose and put it into a bun, use a contouring brush to adjust your facial features to make them softer, and then apply a little blush and lipstick, and you will be a real beauty. Seeing Xiao Liu, a masculine man, turn into a woman, the other children couldn't help but laugh. Sister Linxi, this big brother is so handsome. Xiao Liu had been enduring it. It was bad enough that the girl smeared her clothes on his face, but why did she also stuff 2 pieces of cloth into his chest? Chapter 22 Dreams. From now on, she is our sister Xiao. When others ask, just say she is Qiao Linxi. She is the eldest sister of all 19 of us. Qiao Linxi knew that these children would listen to whatever he said. I understand, Sister Linxi. Looking at the growing team, all Qiao Linxi could do was to continuously collect gratitude points to participate in the lottery, so as not to let anyone die of hunger or thirst. Qiao Linxi thought he was ready to set off, but after taking a few steps, he saw 2 snow-white rabbits. Wow, little bunny. When 5-year-old Qiao Linhua saw the rabbit, he happily got out of Qiao Linxi's arms and ran forward. Where did the rabbits come from? Qiao Linxi was also very puzzled, so she watched Qiao Linhua go forward to catch the rabbits. Looking at the 2 plump rabbits, Qiao Linxi had an idea. She saw the braised rabbit meat waving at her. Drawing, do you want to eat some meat? Qiao Linhua had already held the 2 rabbits in her arms. When she heard Qiao Linxi's question, she shook her head decisively. No, sister, these rabbits are so cute, let's keep them. Girls have no resistance to this kind of furry creature. Not only Qiao Linhua couldn't bear to eat it, other girls also said they wanted to keep it. This made Qiao Linxi laugh. She pointed at the group of children and said, it's not enough for us to flee the famine with 20 people. We also need to take 2 rabbits with us. Raising rabbits requires grass and leaves. Where can we get these things? I don't care. I'll just raise him. I won't eat steamed buns or drink water. I'll just raise him. Qiao Linhua held the rabbit tightly, fearing that if he let go, Qiao Linxi would roast it. Okay, raise it. Qiao Linxi didn't really want to eat the rabbit. There were 20 of them and only 2 rabbits, not enough to fill their teeth. Seeing that Qiao Linxi had given in, Qiao Linhua jumped up happily and hugged the rabbit to his face. Qiao Linxi pushed Xiao Liu forward, followed by a group of children. It was still early and not that hot, so it was a good time to hurry on their way. Sister Linxi, let me help you. Qiao Linbao put his younger brother Qiao Lintang on the cart, and pushed Xiao Liu together with Qiao Linxi. Xiao Liu, who was sitting on the cart, began to feel a little uncomfortable. He felt that what he did was too much. He was a man of 7 feet tall, but he let 2 children push him. But if he were to walk on his own, he would undoubtedly lose his right leg. He still had great things to accomplish, and he couldn't just become lame. Let others do the noble things. Thinking of this, Xiao Liu sat on the cart with peace of mind and watched Qiao Linxi and Qiao Linbao pushing him away. The sun gradually rose higher, and Qiao Linxi estimated in her mind that it should have taken an hour to walk, which was equivalent to 2 hours in her time. Every time Qiao Linxi took a breath, she felt a burning pain in her throat. She thought that other people might feel the same way. Thinking about this, Qiao Linxi started talking to Qiao Linbao. Linbao, do you know that when God wants to give a man a great responsibility, he must first make his mind suffer, his muscles and bones tired, his body hungry and his body empty? Qiao Linbao shook his head. What this means is that everyone will suffer hardships before achieving the goal or status they want. Only by holding on can you get what you want in the end. The difficulties we are facing now may be paving their way for a prosperous and wealthy life in the future. Having said that, Qiao Linxi asked Qiao Linbao what his dream was. Dream? Qiao Linbao wondered. Qiao Linxi explained, It's about what kind of person you want to be, or what kind of thing you want to do. Is that so? Qiao Linbao thought seriously for a long time before speaking. I want to be like my uncle. Uncle? My father. Qiao Linbao nodded. Yes, my uncle is very capable. My dad said that when he was young, he traveled a lot and met a lot of people. He was very talented and had beautiful handwriting. He was famous in the surrounding villages. Our names were all given by my uncle. In my memory, my uncle was a very gentle person. He never yelled at my aunt. Qiao Linxi didn't have many memories of her father. She had only been there for 2 or 3 days, but she felt that the original owner's memories were very vague. Qiao Linbao continued to chatter. My mother said that my uncle didn't look like a farmer at all. From what I remember, he didn't know how to do farm work. Most of the farm work at home was done by my aunt. Looking at my uncle, he looks like the young master of a wealthy family. Well, my father is a very good person. Qiao Linxi summed up. She didn't have many memories of the original owner's parents. Most of her memories were of her own civilized era. The most common memory of parents from that era is how they urged us to get married. So, I want to be like my uncle, who may not have achieved much, but everyone says he is a good person. Linbao, you are the oldest boy in our family, the eldest son of the Qiao family, and you have the responsibility to carry forward the Qiao family. Those younger brothers and sisters are all looking at you, and you are their role model. Qiao Linxi and Qiao Linbao said that no matter what era it is, the eldest son always has the greatest pressure. Not to mention this era where boys are favored over girls. Sister Linxi, what about you? What is your dream? Dream. This was not the first time Qiao Linxi had heard this word, but she had never seriously thought about what her dream was. Growing up in a wealthy family, she never had to worry about food and clothing, and her academic performance was excellent. She could be said to be a child from another family. She never thought that her smooth life would stop on her 32nd birthday. Yes, dream. Qiao Linbao nodded. Qiao Linxi looked back at the group of children behind her, smiled, and said nothing. What dream could she have? These children were counting on her. Brother, Qiao Lintang, who was sitting on the cart, poked Qiao Linbao's arm with his little hand. What happened to Tang Tang? He is sick. He is so hot. 3-year-old Qiao Lintang pointed at Xiao Liu next to him. Only then did Qiao Linxi notice that Xiao Liu, who was sitting on the cart with his back to her, had an abnormal look on his face. Mr. Xiao Liu, what's wrong with you? Qiao Linxi stopped the car and asked him. Xiao Liu looked at Qiao Linxi, whose face was flushed and breathing heavily, and said, It's okay. I am the one who is holding you back. Qiao Linxi reached out and touched Xiao Liu's forehead with the back of her hand, then immediately pulled back. Why is it so hot? She had always thought that the high fever caused by injuries in TV dramas was fake, because in her era, injuries did not cause fever. Unexpectedly, it was actually true. Xiao Liu's current appearance clearly showed that he had a fever. There's no village or shop in the middle of nowhere. Qiao Linxi was a little embarrassed. If there was no medicine to reduce fever, she could only use physical methods to reduce fever. But she didn't have much water left, so what should she do? Chapter 23, asking for a doctor. It's okay, I'm thick-skinned, nothing will happen to me. Xiao Liu waved his hands, not caring if he had a high fever. Although he felt very uncomfortable now, he could still bear it. Looking at the group of children behind him, Qiao Linxi made a decision. Let's go to the front and rest for a while. I think we are almost at Baiyun City. There should be a doctor there. Since Qiao Linxi agreed to take Xiao Liu with her, she would do her best to take care of him. It costs money to hire a doctor, Miss Linxi, you don't have to spend any money. It's okay. I just want money, not my life. Since you asked me to take you with me, I have to be responsible for you. You stay here and I will figure out the rest. Looking at the mature and steady Qiao Linxi, Xiao Liu felt a little moved. This was the first time he met someone who didn't ask about his identity or seek benefits from him but only cared about him. Not long after walking, Qiao Linxi saw the city gate. It was exactly the same as what she saw on the map, called Baiyun City. After arranging for several children, Qiao Linxi also specifically asked Qiao Linbao to look after the other children. He was the eldest boy, and Qiao Linxi had high hopes for him. Even though he was not her biological brother, she hoped that he could stand on his own and shoulder the responsibility of the Qiao family. Originally, Qiao Linbao was going to follow Qiao Linxi into the city, but Qiao Linxi was worried about the lack of boys in the army, and she was worried that someone would bully the girls. As for Xiao Liu, she didn't expect anything from him. He was just a passerby, and it was unknown how long they could walk together. Miss Linxi, look at what you said. Although I am injured, I am still an adult man. I will not sit idly by and watch someone bully your brothers and sisters. Don't worry, since you are going to ask for a doctor for me, I will take good care of your brothers and sisters. When Xiao Liu saw that Qiao Linxi ignored him, his manly pride began to take over. He thought that he was injured, not dead, and he still had the ability to protect several children. Then I'll have to trouble you, Mr. Xiao Liu. I'll go into the city and see if there's any food. If there is, I'll try to bring some back. When they heard that Qiao Linxi would bring back food, all the children cheered and said that they would wait for Qiao Linxi to come back. Qiao Linxi looked at the lunchbox in his system. 8 steamed buns had been produced. It should be no problem to bribe the officers guarding the city with 1 steamed bun. Watching Qiao Linxi's back gradually moving away, Xiao Liu realized that the girls' clothes were very big and were men's clothes, and they looked a little familiar. Brother Linbao, your sister's clothes don't seem to be hers. I think they don't fit well. Xiao Liu asked Qiao Linbao, who was staring at Qiao Linxi's back. Oh, that belongs to Mr. Zhao. My sister's clothes were torn by the refugees when she was in the last city. Mr. Zhao. Xiao Liu's heart skipped a beat. Is it that Mr. Zhao? Qiao Linbao didn't say much, but went to count the number of people. There were 17 of them, all present and in good order. Seeing that Qiao Linbao didn't say much, Xiao Liu stopped asking. Although he said that there was no need to see a doctor, he was really feeling very uncomfortable. All the bones in his body felt like they were broken, and he had a splitting headache. He was also holding on when facing the girl. The sun above seemed to be scorching the entire earth, making people feel like they were in a furnace. The scorching sun even made people smell the smell of burning clothes. Soon, Xiao Liu felt drowsy. In a daze, Xiao Liu seemed to hear some quarreling. He opened his eyes with great effort and saw Qiao Linbao standing in front of him, arguing with several people. Qiao Linbao opened his hands to stop the burly men in front of him. No, you can't go through. Hey, you little brat, do you know what this is? How dare you stop this? The man was wearing sackcloth and holding a gleaming sword in his hand. I've already told you that I know the man on the cart, and his friend. Why are you so stubborn, kid? My sister said that no one is allowed to get close to my sister Xiao. Qiao Linbao was really afraid of these people. They were adult men with swords in their hands. They were not good people. But Qiao Linxi had ordered not to let anyone get close to Xiao Liu. Even though Qiao Linbao was afraid, he had to follow Qiao Linxi's order. Sister Xiao. Tong Yu looked at the boy in front of him in confusion. The boy was not even as tall as his waist, so where did he get the courage to stop him? Also, isn't this his master Xiao? When did she become Sister Xiao? Qiao Linbao puffed out his chest and said firmly, yes, Qiao Linxiao, our eldest sister. This is not. Tong Yu saw that Xiao Liu must be seriously injured, so he didn't care about the little brat and stretched out his hand to pull him away. Unexpectedly, his hand was bitten. You little brat, Tong Yu pushed Qiao Linbao away in pain, his arm bleeding. You bit me pretty hard, believe it or not, I'll chop you to pieces with my knife. Tong Yu was also anxious. Xiao Liu was of noble status and could not afford any mistakes. As he spoke, he was about to raise the sword in his hand and chop at Qiao Linbao. Ahem. Xiao Liu saw who was coming and pretended to cough. Tong Yu was relieved to see that his master had woken up. Just as he was about to speak, he saw the look in his master's eyes. Xiao Liu signaled Tong Yu and the others to leave. Although Tong Yu was worried about Xiao Liu, he could only obey orders and stepped aside with the others. Okay, I want to see what kind of fairy your sister is that makes you obey her even at the risk of your life. Tong Yu stood not far away, covering his arm with his hands, and looked at Qiao Linbao, thinking to himself, this kid is quite courageous, and he is ruthless. If he can be trained well, he might become a talented person. On the other side, Qiao Linxi came to the city gate. Compared with the previous city, this place was better and there were no refugees. However, one still had to pay an entrance fee to enter the city, which Qiao Linxi could understand. This was equivalent to the toll gate on the highway in her world. As long as it was not too outrageous, she could accept it. It's 10 cents to go into the city. Qiao Linxi planned to use the same trick again to see if she could use her acting skills to get into the city for free. Thinking of this, Qiao Linxi pinched her thigh secretly, and her eyes suddenly turned red. Her beautiful eyes were filled with tears as she looked pitifully at the official guarding the city. "Sir, my elder sister is critically ill and needs a doctor urgently. Can you please be lenient with her?" Although Qiao Linxi had never looked in the mirror, she knew that she must be very good looking. Just look at her 4 younger brothers and sisters, they all have handsome features. Good-looking people are popular everywhere. Qiao Linxi doesn't want to use the beauty trap, but there is nothing she can do. Unexpectedly, the official didn't buy her trick at all. He said with a straight face, "No, it costs 10 coins to enter the city. If you have money, you can enter. If you don't have money, get out." Chapter 24: Successfully entering the city. After being yelled at by the officer, Qiao Linxi instantly felt extremely aggrieved, and the tears in her eyes burst out instantly. "But I really have no money. Sir, please be kind and give me some leniency." Faced with Qiao Linxi's tearful look, the officer just glanced at her and turned his eyes away, looking elsewhere. Seeing that tears were useless, Qiao Linxi gritted her teeth, took out a steamed bun from the system and handed it to the official. "Sir, I really don't have any money, how about I use the steamed bun as payment?" The steamed bun in Qiao Linxi's hand was fragrant and white, like a hand hooking the official's soul. He turned his head involuntarily to look at the steamed bun in Qiao Linxi's hand. He swallowed and it was obvious that he wanted to eat it very much. The drought affected not only Yuluo village but almost the entire Dai Viet kingdom, so food was in short supply everywhere. Although these officials stood here majestically, they also tightened their belts to make ends meet. Now seeing a big, white and fragrant steamed bun, their eyes were wide open. "Is it okay?" Qiao Linxi carefully held the steamed bun and moved closer to the official. "You have no money. Even if I let you in, you can't get a doctor. Stop bothering me here. Go away." As he said that, the officer waved at Qiao Linxi, intending to drive her away. Whoa! A carriage stopped behind Qiao Linxi. The driver reined in the horse, jumped down, took out a string of copper coins from his arms and handed them to the official. The official shook the money in his hand, then asked someone to remove the wooden railing blocking the city gate and let them pass. When the carriage passed by Qiao Linxi, it shook a little. Qiao Linxi stared at the carriage like a curious baby. She thought that the person who could ride in the carriage must be a noble. Alas, this world is so unfair. Etc. Just as the carriage was about to enter the city, the people in the carriage called the driver. Qiao Linxi was a little far away and didn't hear what they said. But the driver looked back at Qiao Linxi, then got off the carriage again and took out 10 coins from his pocket and gave them to the official. Then he came back to talk to Qiao Linxi. "Miss, my master paid for your entry into the city." R. Qiao Linxi was confused. Is there such a good thing? The coachman looked Qiao Linxi up and down, said nothing, then returned to the carriage and drove away. Qiao Linxi, whose face was covered with mud, finally realized that she had gotten a bargain. Someone was paying for her? "Hey, little girl, you can go in." The officer saw that Qiao Linxi was still in a daze and reminded her. "Oh, thank you." Qiao Linxi put away the steamed buns and entered the city smoothly. Although Baiyun City is a city, it is not very prosperous due to the drought. There are only a few stalls scattered on the street, and there are few people on the street. Qiao Linxi saw the carriage at a glance. The carriage was still very eye-catching. The few people on the street were attracted by the carriage and were guessing who the important person was sitting in the carriage. "Hey, wait a minute." Qiao Linxi tiptoed towards the carriage, waved, then chased after it while picking up her clothes. The horse was not very fast, so she caught up quickly. Her mother taught her to be grateful and repay kindness since she was young. Since others helped her, she should say thank you even if she had nothing to repay. The driver stopped when he saw Qiao Linxi catching up. Qiao Linxi walked to the side of the carriage. She did not lift the curtain, but stood beside the carriage and whispered, "Thank you for paying the city entrance fee for me." The person in the carriage did not immediately respond to Qiao Linxi's words, but spoke leisurely after a moment. "It's a small matter, young lady, there is no need to come forward to thank you." This voice was like a magical harp, and every word shook Qiao Linxi's little heart. If Xiao Liu's voice could make people's ears pregnant, then this person's voice could shake people's souls. Walk. While Qiao Linxi was in a daze, the carriage left again. She chased after him again and handed the steamed bun in her hand through the window. Sir, even the smallest matter is still a matter. I don't have the money to pay you back now, so I'll use the steamed bun as payment. After a long time, the steamed bun in Qiao Linxi's hand was taken away by someone in the car. The girl is good at calculating. One steamed bun is equivalent to 10 cents of the city entrance fee. Qiao Linxi was a little embarrassed. She didn't know the prices here, nor did she know what she could buy with 10 cents, but the only thing she could afford right now was steamed buns. And don't worry, if you run out of steamed buns, lunch boxes will be automatically produced when the time comes. All I can give is steamed buns. Thank you again for your generosity. If we meet again in the future, I will definitely repay you double. After saying this, Qiao Linxi gave himself a thumbs up in his heart. This line was well said. Har har, the man on the bus chuckled, I'll keep this in mind. If we meet again someday, I'll definitely ask you to return the 10 cents. After saying that, the carriage moved forward again. Qiao Linxi scratched the back of her head, feeling that all these good lines were nonsense. She didn't even know what the other person looked like, tall, short, round or flat. How could she pay her back in the future? Forget it, we will definitely meet if we are destined to do so. Qiao Linxi didn't worry about it, but asked someone where there was a medicine store. She had to get straight to the point. There was a group of children waiting for her outside the city. Following the direction pointed out by the kind-hearted person, Qiao Linxi soon saw the pharmacy. After entering the pharmacy, Qiao Linxi immediately saw the old man sitting in front of the counter. She concluded that this man must be the doctor, so she took a deep breath and walked up to him. You are doctor, aren't you? The old doctor looked up at Qiao Linxi and hummed. Qiao Linxi spoke again. My elder sister was seriously injured, her right leg was broken, and now she has a high fever. Can you prescribe some medicine for me? I don't have money, but I can exchange other things for medicine with you, is that okay? The old doctor looked up at Qiao Linxi and said, Little girl, do you think you are playing house? You are exchanging things for medicine. I am not the reincarnation of a living bodhisattva. I cannot do such a thing as helping others. If you want medicine, you have to pay for it. In times of famine, everyone has a hard time. Kindness is nothing but empty talk, and the most important thing is to stay alive. Qiao Linxi was really anxious. She urgently needed medicinal herbs to treat Xiao Liu, but she had no money. What should she do? Can't I exchange water with you? Steamed buns are also acceptable. When the old doctor heard Qiao Linxi say to exchange it for water, his heart skipped a beat. This girl who didn't look rich actually said to exchange water and steamed buns for medicine. Doesn't she know that water and food are more valuable than gold now? Water. The old doctor stroked his beard and said, If you can get a bag of water, I'll prescribe you a fever-reducing medicine. If you can get 2 bags of water, I'll also give you the hemostatic medicine. Chapter 25 Buying Medicine and Making Money. The old doctor was calculating in his mind. Business was slow right now, and there hadn't been a single patient for 10 days or half a month. He could barely make ends meet, let alone get water. After a few years of drought, the well in the backyard had long been dry. Now in Baiyun City, people have to buy water. In order to keep the people of Baiyun City alive, the government has spent a lot of manpower and financial resources to find water elsewhere. If the people of Baiyun City want to drink water, they have to go to the government office to buy it. Then, can you come out of town with me? I will see my sister in person. After I see my sister, I will give you the water. This old man has a really evil heart. Qiao Linxi also knows that water is more expensive than gold nowadays, but there is nothing she can do as she can't afford to delay with Xiao Liu. No, you have to pay the entrance fee when you leave the city and come back. Little girl, I have been practicing medicine for a lifetime and I will never cheat you. As long as you agree to pay for the medicine with 2 bags of water, I will definitely prescribe medicine for you according to the symptoms you described. Seeing that the old doctor refused to see the patient, Qiao Linxi had to compromise. She asked the old doctor to get a water bag. After getting the water bag, Qiao Linxi said mysteriously, Old doctor, I'd like to borrow your backyard for a while. You can help me prepare the medicine and I'll fill it with water for you. We'll exchange the water and the medicine at the same time. Upon hearing that there was water, the old doctor nodded quickly and asked Qiao Linxi to go to the backyard. After Qiao Linxi went to the backyard, he poured the unused water from cooking porridge into the water bag. The old doctor did not lie to Qiao Linxi. After Qiao Linxi took out 2 bags of water, he saw that he was holding several packages of things wrapped in brown paper. Qiao Linxi guessed that they were medicine. "Girl, here are the medicines. This is a medicine for stopping bleeding and healing, for external application. This is a medicine for reducing fever, simmer over low heat, and take 3 times a day. This is a medicine for promoting bone growth, for external application. I've written them all down for you." Qiao Linxi did notice that there were pieces of paper pasted on it. She didn't expect that the doctor was so attentive. After getting the medicine, Qiao Linxi did not forget to thank him and collect some gratitude points. Gratitude points are her reliance for survival. After leaving the pharmacy, Qiao Linxi was thinking about what to bring for the children. Currently, she only had steamed buns, water, and the leftover rice from cooking porridge. After eating steamed buns for several days in a row, Qiao Linxi felt that her mouth was very bland and wanted to eat something else. But she has no money, which is a century-old problem. Qiao Linxi was in a dilemma when she suddenly saw a carriage stopped in front of a shop. She stretched her head to take a look and saw that it was a rouge and powder shop. An idea suddenly came to her, a way to make money. So, Qiao Linxi walked towards the rouge and powder shop with the pile of medicine. She was a senior white-collar worker in her previous life, so she was good at makeup. Besides, she had a makeup bag in her system, which contained all the commonly used cosmetics, and some she hadn't opened yet. She planned to exchange these cosmetics for some money. A girl about 12 or 13 years old, wearing a light green dress, got off the carriage. TSK, are all kids nowadays so precocious? They are already so mature and steady at the age of 12 or 13. After the girl got off the carriage, she stretched out her hand, and a whiter and slender hand held the girl's hand. Not long after, a slightly older girl walked out of the carriage, bending over. The moment he saw the girl, Qiao Linxi thought of a sentence: "My daughter has grown up." This girl should be only 15 or 16 years old. The clothes and headdress she wore were not of the same level as the previous girl. They were obviously much more gorgeous than the previous girl. "Miss, what's your step?" Sure enough, the woman behind was the master, and the younger girl was just a maid. After getting off the car, the master and servant looked around before entering the rouge and powder shop. Qiao Linxi could hear the flattering voice of the shop owner from such a distance. That's right. In this day and age, business is slow. If a young lady from a wealthy family comes to visit, the shop owner has to treat her like a deity. "Oh, Miss Qin, you're here. Please come in quickly. It's hot outside." The Qin family is one of the best in Baiyun City. Drought only affects the poor. For such a wealthy family, there is no impact, at most it will be a little hotter. When a rich lady comes to the store, the shop owner will take out the best rouge and powder without asking. Miss Qin looked at the beautifully packaged rouge and powder with a frown on her face. She was not very satisfied with them. She had used them all before and didn't feel very good. "Boss, are there no other new products?" "Oh, Miss Qin, you know what the situation is like now. It's been dry for so many years, and the raw materials for making rouge and powder can't be grown. These are shipped from other places. I specially leave them for you, Miss Qin." At this time, Qiao Linxi also entered the store, but she was wearing oversized men's clothing and her hair was a little messy. She looked like a beggar, so no one paid any attention to her. With Qiao Linxi's appearance, even in this era, the shop owner didn't drive her away because he thought grasshopper legs were meat. In previous years, he would have treated her as a beggar and sent her away. Qiao Linxi held the medicine and looked quietly at the rich lady. She seemed very dissatisfied with those rouge and powder. No matter how the shop owner praised her for those things, she remained unmoved. Let's go." Miss Qin turned and left, with an unhappy look on her face. "Miss, aren't we going to buy any? This Jiangji rouge shop is the largest rouge shop in the entire Baiyun city. Miss, you don't like the stuff here, and I'm afraid there's nothing better in other shops." The maid Qiao advised her young lady, "I heard from the servant beside the master that Master Jiu will arrive in Baiyun City today. Aren't you going to meet him?" "Miss Qin, Qiao is right. Our shop is the largest shop in the entire Baiyun City. You have used these things before. The quality is impeccable. Miss Qin is as beautiful as a fairy." After using them, Master Jiyu will definitely be unable to take his eyes off them. Miss Qin shook her head and walked out of the shop. Qiao Linxi quickly followed her. Ms. Qin, wait a minute. Miss Qin was indeed very pretty and had a good temperament. Even Qiao Linxi was attracted to her. What do you want to do, beggar? Qiao looked at Qiao Linxi with a face full of vigilance. The beggar Qiao Linxi was stunned for a moment, then looked down at her appearance. Compared with the gorgeously dressed Miss Qin, it was not an exaggeration to say that she was a beggar. Qiao. Miss Qin looked at her maid unhappily, don't talk nonsense. After saying that, Miss Qin looked at Qiao Linxi and asked, Miss, do you have something to tell me? Miss. Qiao looked at her own young lady who was so kind, and stamped her feet in frustration. She must be begging from you, why are you paying attention to her? Chapter 26, Transforming Miss Qin. There are so many beggars in Baiyun City, you can't give alms to them all, young lady. Besides, aren't you going to see Master Jiyu? Little sister, I am not a beggar, and I will not beg from your master. I must have something to ask you. After Qiao Linxi finished speaking, she looked at Miss Qin and said, Miss Qin, are you going to meet your sweetheart? Do you want to dress up a little prettier? So what? What does it have to do with you? Many times, maids are the mouthpieces of their masters, and the character of their masters can be seen from the behavior of a maid. I'm afraid that Miss Qin is not a gentle and virtuous person, otherwise why would the maid be so mean and sarcastic? Miss Qin, didn't you buy the rouge and powder you wanted? Miss Qin nodded, well, I have tried everything in the shop, but it doesn't have the effect I want. Qiao Linxi asked again, what effect does Miss Qin want? Maybe I can help you. You? Qiao sneered, have you ever looked in the mirror? You don't even look at what you look like, and you still want to help my young lady. Of course I know what I look like. Qiao Linxi didn't care about being ridiculed at all. I came here from far away with a dozen brothers and sisters. This little sister may not know how difficult it was to escape from the famine. But you should know that drinking water is a problem, so where can I get extra water to clean myself up? Even if I am a beggar, it can't cover up the fact that I have good stuff in my hands. You have good stuff? You want my young lady to buy it with you? What are you thinking? Let my young lady buy something with a beggar. Will it be spread out that my young lady will be laughed at? Ms. Qin, do you think the process is important? Qiao Linxi didn't argue with Qiao, but spoke directly to Miss Qin. Have you ever used rouge that won't fade when it comes into contact with water? Have you ever used rouge that can change a person's appearance? Have you ever used rouge that won't leave marks when you touch it with your hands? Miss Qin, who originally thought Qiao's words made sense, was moved when she heard Qiao Linxi say this. This woman was right, the process was indeed not important, the result was important. Miss Qin, who had figured it out, looked at Qiao Linxi and said, then let me see if the rouge and powder you mentioned is as magical as you said. If it's not as magical as you said, I will not forgive you. Qiao Linxi patted his chest and assured, don't worry, Miss Qin, my things are unique in the world, just like Miss Qin's beauty, which is also unique in the world. If it doesn't have the effect I said, I am willing to serve you as a slave for the rest of my life. But you are like this. Miss Qin looked at Qiao Linxi's appearance. She really had no idea what Qiao Linxi took out. If Miss Qin doesn't mind spending a few more cents to get me a room so I can wash up, I can serve you better, right? Qiao was so angry when she heard what Qiao Linxi said, you are good at calculating. Even if my lady doesn't buy your stuff in the end, you still got a room for free. Come back home with me. My home is not far from here. Qiao Linxi didn't mind following Miss Qin back home. She was doing it for money anyway. As long as she could get money, she would do anything. The Qin mansion is not far from here, only a stick of incense away. Looking at the magnificent Qin mansion, Qiao Linxi sighed again that the gap between the rich and the poor in this world is too big. After entering the mansion, Miss Qin asked the maid to prepare water and clean clothes for Qiao Linxi. Sitting in the bathtub, Qiao Linxi couldn't help laughing. What kind of luck was this? Not only did someone pay for her to enter the city, but she also got a bucket of bathing water for free. Her bottle of shampoo finally came in handy. After taking a bath, Qiao Linxi felt much more relaxed, as if she had washed away several pounds of mud. Miss Qin had been sitting in her room waiting for Qiao Linxi. When she saw Qiao Linxi after taking a bath, she was stunned. She had never realized that she was so beautiful before. She was so beautiful that she was a little jealous. The girl is so beautiful, I didn't realize it before. Qiao Linxi lifted her hair and said, that's not as good as Miss Qin. She's not only beautiful as a fairy, but also born into a wealthy family. I'm just a lowly weed on the side of the road. There's no comparison between me and Miss Qin. Miss Qin laughed at this, and she laughed for a long time before she said seriously, then let's get started. Qiao Linxi looked at Miss Qin for a while, and then she had a clear idea in her mind. She started to style her clothes while saying, Miss Qin is like a flower. She should dress as delicately as a flower at her age. There is no need to follow the crowd and dress herself so maturely. The clothes that Qiao Linxi was wearing had wide sleeves, which also concealed her movements of taking out cosmetics from the system. Cleansing, concealing, applying foundation, contouring, applying makeup, and finally setting the makeup. This series of operations took an hour and the sky began to darken. Oh my god, miss, isn't this too beautiful? Qiao went from disbelief at first to surprise now. She is obviously still her own daughter, but she looks different. How is it? Are you satisfied, Miss Qin? Qiao Linxi took out a small mirror to look at Miss Qin. Miss Qin was startled by the clear mirror. What is this? Why is it so clear? This is a mirror, the only one in the world, and now I'm giving it to Miss Qin. Miss Qin looked at herself in the mirror, as if she didn't recognize herself. I feel something is different. Miss Qin was beautiful before, but she lacked some spirituality. A girl of your age should be innocent and naive. Your makeup before was too dignified, like a shackle, locking up your spirituality. Miss Qin was really satisfied with Qiao Linxi's transformation. Seeing that it was getting late, she asked Qiao to get out the purse. Without asking Qiao Linxi how much money it was, she gave her the whole bag. Qiao Linxi was also very honest. She left all her cosmetics to Miss Qin, and also reminded Qiao that she should gently wipe her face with makeup remover oil before washing it with warm water before going to bed at night. Qiao Linxi was extremely happy after getting the money. Led by her maid, she walked out of the mansion with her medicine in her hand. However, she bumped into someone opposite her in a corridor. Because the door was just around the corner, the maid who led the way went back to serve Miss Qin, letting Qiao Linxi leave by herself. Unexpectedly, she bumped into someone else. Oh, sorry, I didn't see that. The person who bumped into Qiao Linxi was a man in his 40s, dressed in silk and satin. He looked somewhat similar to Miss Qin and should be Miss Qin's father. It's okay, the man gracefully gave Qiao Linxi a light support. When Qiao Linxi looked up, he was surprised. Chapter 27 Kidnapped. Girl, you? Oh, sorry. Qiao Linxi kept apologizing, and then ran away holding up her skirt. This man is Miss Qin's father, Master Qin. He is an official appointed by the court, sent by the court to help with disaster relief. Master Qin stared at Qiao Linxi's back in a daze. She seems like an old friend of mine. Master, this girl was brought back by the young lady. Why don't you go and ask the young lady who she is? The servant's words brought Master Qin back to his senses. He waved his hand and said, no need. The world is so big, it's not surprising to have a few similar people. On the other side, Qiao Linxi left Qin's house. It was already dark outside, and all the shops were hung with red lanterns. Although it was night, the air was still hot. Seeing this situation, Qiao Linxi could only buy cooked food for those brothers and sisters. When he thought of the 18 brothers and sisters, plus the injured Xiao Liu, the 2 tiger cubs and the 2 rabbits, he got a headache. 20 people need a lot of food. I don't know how much cooked food she can buy with this little money. It was already dark, and Qiao Linxi was a little worried about his younger brothers and sisters outside the city. After looking around, he couldn't find anywhere to buy food that was easy to carry and could be eaten directly, so Qiao Linxi planned to leave the city first. The system's lunchbox had already produced 8 steamed buns for dinner, plus the 7 for lunch, a total of 15 steamed buns, enough for one meal. Originally there were 8 for lunch, but Qiao Linxi took one out to give to the person who paid for her to enter the city, so there were only 7. In one scene, Qiao Linxi had a bag of money in her arms. She was very nervous, afraid that she would run into some hooligans or something. If she did, she would lose all her money. Qiao Linxi also asked the system if he could put the money into the system's grid, but Xiao Juju said no. The host has not yet activated the storage function. The system can only store items that are issued by the system. Other items cannot be stored in. Sometimes, the more you worry about something, the more likely it is to happen. Qiao Linxi was stopped by a group of people before he even left the city. Hey, where did this little beauty come from? Why have I never seen her before? The leader was a man wearing a square hat on his head, a red flower on his ear, and running in a crescent white suit. He had a slicked back hair and powdered face, and looked very much like Zhu Ganlai in a certain movie. Master Wei, isn't this little beauty a little young? She looks good, but she doesn't look like she's even old enough to wear a wedding band. Wei Dashan, the youngest son of the Baiyan City County Magistrate, was idle and played with cats and dogs on weekdays. He often harmed decent women by relying on his father being a parent official. The system told Qiao Linxi this information in her mind. Qiao Linxi cried out that she was unlucky. If she had known this would happen, she would not have gone to wash up. It's better to be smaller. This way it's tender, more delicious, and easier to train, right? Wei Dashan looked at Qiao Linxi with lustful eyes. His naked gaze made Qiao Linxi very uncomfortable. She lowered her head and was about to walk around Wei Dashan, but was stopped by others. Hey, little beauty, where are you going so late? Why don't you stay and accompany our Master Wei? Maybe if Master Wei is happy, he will let you be a concubine, and you will be the county magistrate's daughter-in-law in the future. Qiao Linxi didn't want to bother with these playboys and just wanted to leave quickly. Seeing that she didn't say anything, Wei Dashan pinched Qiao Linxi's chin with his hand, forcing her to look at him, then burped at Qiao Linxi, making her want to vomit. She hated drunk people the most. My little beauty, you have quite a personality. I want you tonight. Let me go. Qiao Linxi smashed the medicine in his hand on Wei Dashan's face. Just as he was about to take out the frying pan from the system, he was slapped by Wei Dashan. Occasionally, someone would pass by on the street, but when they saw Wei Dashan and his group, they would quickly walk away. No one would care about such a thing, nor would they dare to. That was the county magistrate's son. You little bitch, how dare you hit me? Wei Dashan was furious and raised his foot to kick Qiao Linxi. Master Wei, no, how can we play if it's broken? If a person doesn't listen, after taking a dose of medicine, won't he behave like a cat? Don't. Wei Dashan supported him and pushed away the others, tie him up and send him back to the mansion. I want to eat spicy food tonight. After all, Qiao Linxi was just a 14-year-old girl and was no match for this group of adult men. One of them lifted Qiao Linxi up with one hand. She was terribly frightened and also worried about her brothers and sisters outside the city. Help, help! Someone is trying to abduct a woman. Qiao Linxi struggled desperately and shouted, but no one came forward. They saw Wei Dashan as if he were a plague god and hid far away, let alone came forward to save Qiao Linxi. Woo woo! Qiao Linxi started crying in her heart. She was still young and was about to be killed by these bastards. Oh God, who will save her? Seeing that Qiao Linxi was still making noises, the person carrying her decisively punched her on the back of the head. Qiao Linxi only felt a pain on the back of her head and then she completely lost consciousness, and the medicine in her hand fell to the ground. Hey, what's the point of knocking someone out? Wei Dashan was a little dissatisfied with his brother for knocking this little beauty out. How could he appear mighty if the person was already unconscious? Don't blame me, Master Wei. I was just afraid that she would alarm your father. The group sneaked into a mansion and slipped in through the back door. Oh, I'm so scared, Dad, what are you doing standing here? Wei Dashan had just closed the door and when he turned around, he saw his father standing there with a gloomy face. Magistrate Wei pointed a whip at Wei Dashan and said, You beast, you've kidnapped someone again. I'll beat you to death. Ouch, Dad, it hurts. Master, please stop beating me. We only have one Xing'er. If he gets hurt, who will take care of us in our old age? For a moment, the backyard was in chaos. Dad, please stop and listen to me. Wei Dashan ran to the back of a rockery and poked his head out to look at County Magistrate Wei. I'm going to tie this man up for my father. What? The county magistrate's wife was surprised. For your father? You little bastard. Mom, please listen to what I have to say. After Wei Dashan dodged his mother's attack, he rushed up the rockery and looked down at his parents. Don't you know that Jiyu Changfeng has come to Baiyan City? Which Jiyu Changfeng? That girl from Jinkangli. Wei Dashan pointed to the top of his head. I saw Miss Qin going out shopping today. She was going to dress up nicely and climb into Jiyu Changfeng's bed. What does that have to do with you kidnapping this woman? His Qin family is an important member of the court, so it's normal for them to have a good relationship with Jiyu Changfeng. Oh, my father, don't you want to climb up? As long as you climb up to Jiyu Changfeng's high branch, it will be a matter of a word for him to go to the capital to be an official.